Tomorrow night in Philly, the U.S. makes a statement before the World Cup. Plus,
I want winners.
This cannot go wrong.
I like Ray Ford on the money line, plus 140 to beat Oshaki Foster in boxing.
What is this happening?
Like Song Yadong to win going the distance, plus 110.
We're halfway there.
We got the Spurs and the Thunder game 7. I like the under 212.5 in this game. We're staying away from the pick because I think this is really a toss-up game.
The Spurs are headed to the NBA Finals. 111-103.
The math ain't mathin', honey.
Myles Garrett is going to the Los Angeles Rams.
There it is.
The Rams are expected to send Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and other draft pick compensation.
We have sort of a problem here.
we enter the month of June from the San Diego Sports 760 studios in the zone with Fletch and Sammy.
Let's get it going on a Monday. What's happening, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. Sammy will keep it rolling after that from 2 to 3. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your drive home. Yes, Myles Garrett has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
We got some stuff happening today, man.
There's a lot going on in and around the NFL. There's a lot going around with the San Diego Padres. There's a lot going on with San Diego golf, and we're going to hit it all over the next 2 hours. So stay tuned here on 760. We also have some excellent giveaways for you today, including a pair of tickets to go see Columbia versus Jordan this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium on Sunday, June 7th, 4 o'clock. You can see these national teams play as they prepare for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. You can buy tickets now at sandiegofc.com/countdown-to-26, or you can keep listening. So, Sammy, if I have this correct, we're doing a sounder at some point during the show today.
Yes, it is at some point during the show. So you have to make sure that you're listening, but we will play a sounder. And then you will have to call. And caller number 7 will be winning the ticket.
Okay, and this can be during a commercial break. This can be in the middle of us talking.
If Fletch says something I don't like, I could hit the sounder right now.
Okay. This is good. So you got to keep listening. And once you hear that sounder, you're going to be able to call in. Caller number 7, you're getting tickets to this weekend's matchup, Columbia and Jordan, as everyone's getting ready for the World Cup around the same time. There's tons of international friendlies. In fact, Team USA competed in one yesterday at 12:15. They beat Senegal
yesterday.
Christian Pulisic scored a goal. And so he's back on the right track. We'll get to it all over the next couple of hours. We also have another 4-pack of tickets for the San Diego County Fair. We'll have you call in at some point during the show today for that. Myles Garrett has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams. Don't think this is a coincidence, understanding where the Super Bowl is this year, understanding what the Rams did just a few years ago to get Matthew Stafford in the offseason where was the Super Bowl being held? Oh, yeah, that's right, at SoFi Stadium. The Rams are gearing up for another Super Bowl run. They were already the Super Bowl favorites, and they've just added another piece. This is very Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors to me, although the Rams aren't quite as dominant as that team was. But this is crazy, man. I did not expect have this on my bingo card whatsoever. There were plenty of teams that I thought may make a push to try to get Myles Garrett for this year, understanding his contract situation, understanding that a lot of his contract goes into effect in about 15 days from right now. So the Browns had a little bit of wiggle room to move him. But the Rams, this was a total blindside for me, for I think a lot of the NFL world. I guess these conversations started all the way back around the draft for the Rams and the Browns. And the Rams wanted him, and the Rams got him. And very on brand, the F them pick strategy from Les Snead and Sean McVay. You think about what this defense is now for the Los Angeles Rams and the 2 additions they've made this year between Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie on the outside. This is outrageous what the Rams have done. They now have probably the best defense in the NFL to pair with one of the best offenses in the NFL. Did the Browns just gift the Cleveland Browns the Super Bowl? Let us know your thoughts. 70470. Start your message with the word team.
Lori, very excited about her Rams on YouTube right now.
Good for you, Lori. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you.
Hear the Niners fan in him coming out right now that Brock Purdy is
Go get Max Crosby, John Lynch. Do whatever it takes. You got to compete.
Man, this is wild. I mean, and the Rams must have been laughing when we had the conversation last week. We were talking about with Steve Hartman. We're like, did they mess up? Because they traded for Trent McDuffie, they signed Jalen Watson, both former Chiefs corners, and then they go with Ty Simpson, who is not figuring to be helping them out this year because Matthew Stafford's team, a pick for the future. And all what people have been talking about with the Rams last couple months is did they waste that pick? Or are they going to come back to bite them because they didn't draft Mekhi Lemon? They didn't go get Kenny and Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, and then they just go add Myles Garrett. Now, off the jump, Of course, they're the favorite. They have the best roster in the NFL. The defense is through the roof, and I think you're looking at it now. Puka is and all going to be there. Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams. This whole AJ Brown talk that we heard the last couple of weeks with them, that was kind of a luxury. Like, this is a big time pass rushing move. I mean, they still got like Kobe Durant. They got Kobe Turner. Like, there's a bunch of young talent on this team. It's a testament. I think some people are like, oh, they're giving away so many picks, which will affect them in the future. But when you're the Rams and Sean McVay and you draft so well in rounds 4 through 7 on day 3, where we see the good organizations rise to the top, you're able to make moves like this because you're able to get Brandon Fisk. Like, you're able to get guys that other teams have passed on because you don't just need to hit on first round picks. And on the Browns side of things, I mean, the Browns are finally behaving like a good franchise for once. You're not winning a Super Bowl, so you trade Myles Garrett.
Verse was a great get for the Browns.
He's unbelievable.
Honestly, this whole trade looks pretty good for the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, he's a younger, no, he's not Myles Garrett, but he's like 4 years younger than Myles Garrett. They get a first round pick next year, second round of the year after, and a third round after that. I mean, they're stockpiling for when they get their franchise quarterback. I think it's a great deal for both sides.
When I first saw it, I started panicking a lot. And then honestly, I did feel a little bit more eased the fact that Jared Verse is not going to be a Ram for the long term. I can't believe they let him go. You're looking at one of the more special young players in the NFL right now, and Jared Verse, who's been dominant, man. And he has been against everybody in the NFC West, against everybody in the NFC outside of the Seattle Seahawks. But Jared Verse is incredible, and the Browns got a good one. But Myles Garrett is different. There's a good chance over the last decade, Myles Garrett has been, I mean, if you take Aaron Donald out of the conversation, the best defensive player in the NFL. And he continues to be that. He's 31, 32 years old at this point in his career. He's still at the top of the line.
Right,
as the best defender in the NFL
for years into their 30s. And be successful.
Myles Garrett's going to be great with the Los Angeles Rams. And right now, you'd be silly if you said anybody but the Los Angeles Rams for the Super Bowl in 2027.
Cowherd was saying he thought they were trying to prevent him from going to the Eagles.
Potentially, that could be the case, or a wide variety of NFC teams. You would think if the Browns were open. Now, remember, the Browns have been saying for months now, we are not trading Myles Garrett.
Right.
And they've been saying that for the last year and a half. I don't know if anybody actually believed them, but that's what they've been saying. So how many NFC teams do you think were in on him? I mean, it had to be a boatload.
If you're Philly, you probably would have been because you think you're in a championship window. I don't know about your Niners because Bosa was coming back and Warner, but
I'll bet you they were in on him.
The Bears, I guarantee you were in on him because they were trying to get Max Crosby. I mean, there's no way that the Browns were going to trade him to the Ravens to get in their division havoc wrecked on them.
They probably wouldn't trade him in the AFC, period.
No. So you did figure it was going to be the Rams. It was going to be the Eagles, a team like that. And it felt like an arms race a little bit to get him. So, yeah, I mean, does this reopen? You mentioned like the Max Crosby conversations. Does the team in the NFC now feel like, hey, we have to go get him? But Max Crosby also has knee injuries, and now the Raiders are saying they're not going to trade him. I don't know. This is a seismic move, and the Rams taking a totally different path because usually it's all about building a foundation with draft picks and acquiring and developing. Like, they don't really pay their young guys. They draft to then trade their young guys for talent to help them win now.
I think they've had one first-round draft pick in the last 10 years. Or two now because of Ty Simpson. But they don't pick in the first round. They really don't. And it's worked out great for them. They were one snap away from a Super Bowl a year ago, and they probably would have won that one too. And they won one just a couple years ago with Matthew Stafford. So this is crazy. Rams, congratulations, I guess. That feels kind of icky. Any Rams fans in our audience right now, very happy for you. But not very happy with what this means for the NFC West. All right, Sammy, let's get to the big three of our number one. We'll get to the Padres in just a little bit. Yes, Fernando Tatis Jr. did finally hit a home run. And I think I had some, what do you call it?
You did call
it. Some fortune telling about foresight. A week ago.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a little bit as well. Sammy, let's smash the big three.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Text line 913. Fletcher, you ready for Love Island? Hell yeah, brother. Starts tomorrow night. Someone already got evicted. Someone got kicked out before the first episode even aired.
How was that even possible?
They did a little digging in her past, and she said some words she was not supposed to say.
Ooh,
so she gone.
Social media comes back to bite you once again.
It's already flying, Sammy. We got our first look at all the contestants. First episode tomorrow night. Cannot wait. Love Island is electric. Where are we going, Sammy?
All right, we're heading to the NBA. So we got our NBA Finals matchup: Spurs and Knicks, not including the Oklahoma City Thunder. So OKC goes down at home Saturday night, Game 7. Wemby shows up and shows out. Who is most to blame for OKC going out Saturday night?
I mean, I would probably say the Spurs not missing a shot to start the game. My God, the Spurs were on fire in the first quarter, and they kept up the intensity. They kept up the pressure. I would say the last 5 minutes of Oklahoma City's game plan, or the last 5 minutes of play by OKC in that game, were borderline embarrassing. Like, you thought they might try to fight back into it. The shot selection was awful by everybody, not just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I thought Jalen Williams played a really poor game. Chet Holmgren, where the hell were you, dude? Like, they played terrible, especially in the first 5 minutes and the last probably 15 minutes of that game. Pretty embarrassing by OKC, I'll say. The NBA officiating, obviously, that was a very, very physical game, and the Spurs kind of punked OKC on their home court. If we're looking for one exact person to blame, I'm just going to give credit to the Spurs. I thought they played absolutely perfect the other night. OKC definitely had some of their stars not step up at the biggest moments.
I wonder if Chet Holmgren has his locker cleaned out yet or after the exit interview.
Where the hell was he?
You take 2 shots. Like, so we've talked a lot about Shai and whether he gets enough criticism. Shai deserves a lot of praise for that game. Look, will he be criticized? Because at the end of the day, it's about winning and losing. Yes, but Shai at least showed out in that game. You can't point to Shai and go, he was the reason why they lost. Chet Holmgren, the guy that you've had a rivalry with in Victor Wembanyama, you take 2 shots. His second shot came 3 minutes into the game. I mean, that's just unexcusable. Like, it's one thing to not have a good game. We've seen stars over the years in Game 7s not have good performances, but to literally not even try and put yourself, you got paid like a superstar and you were anything but. I mean, there's rumors that they're opening up the Giannis conversation now. I think we anointed OKC as the next dynasty, and now all of a sudden we're like, are they? Jalen Williams injury prone. Chet Holmgren disappears. Are you just going to keep taking draft picks? Look, I get Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell missed time in this series, but the Spurs were the better team, deserve all the credit. And Chet Holmgren, I can't believe that.
How bummed were you on the Dylan Harper dunk because that ruined the under?
That was a bummer, but I was watching a bunch of people and everyone was rooting for the Spurs. So I was like, you know what?
I had Spurs and the under parlayed in Las Vegas, and we were watching the sports book, and we were fist bumping. We were already high fiving. And then instead of just dribbling out the clock, Dylan Harper goes up for the one last exclamation point on the entire series. And I'm like, damn it, rookie. Act like you've been there before one time. And Sammy, when I tell you the entire sports book was like, yeah. Oh,
and then there's like that one guy who bet the over.
Exactly. Everyone had the under around where I was. Oh, it was brutal.
All right, let's head back to the NFL. Odell Beckham. So New York is on fire right now. You got the Knicks going to the finals. Odell Beckham back in a Giants uniform, signs a 1-year contract today, as well as Juju Smith-Schuster headed to the Giants. How concerning, though, is this? We've heard about the Malik Neighbors injury and how he might not be ready for week 1. You signed 2 veteran receivers. How much of an impact can they make, and what does this mean for Malik Neighbors?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. That's exactly where I was going. Look, OBJ and Juju Smith-Schuster, this is what they are. They are Band-Aids at this point in their career. Like, if you watched OBJ over the last couple of years, it's nothing incredible has come out of it. Juju Smith-Schuster has been a role player for the Chiefs most recently, I believe. These guys aren't necessarily stars. They're big names, but they're not stars that are going to come in and save you. They are Band-Aids until you get your wide receiver 1 back. I think Malik Neighbors is a wide receiver 1. That's what this feels like to me. This feels like there's about to be news saying Malik Neighbors isn't going to be ready till week 4 or week 5, or he's going to start the season on the PUP list. Like, that's what this feels like to me.
I actually think the Juju edition will be more helpful for New York than the Odell edition, because Juju just got kind of buried behind the Chiefs receiving core. They tried to give Hollywood Brown looks, Worthy, and then Rashee Rice suspended, but then he came back. Thornton was better. So Juju is not a bad player. Juju can actually come in and kind of hold things down in the meantime. Yeah, Odell, look, it's flashy. I'm sure in New York they're going crazy seeing Odell back. I mean, one of the franchise legends, but coming off the massive knee injuries, getting up in his mid-30s there, I don't know how impactful he's going to be. But if Malik Neighbors isn't there and you're Jackson Dart, you're like a little worried because second year, big expectations. Night one, prime time against Dallas. Look, you got Scattaboo and them there, and Harbaugh's there now. But everyone thought that Malik Neighbor is going to take this offense to another level. He doesn't have the best receiver, so it just puts a lot of pressure on Jackson Dart, which I wouldn't be I think he's a good player, but that's a little nerve-wracking early if you're a Giants fan.
All right, number 3 was Padres.
Yes.
We will get to them on the other side. Tatis homers, but at what cost? It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 is your home for live coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Get daily match updates from the opening match on June 11th to the final on July 1st. Hear live play-by-play of the most anticipated games and every USA match. The excitement of the World Cup in one place here on San Diego Sports 760. How about that, Sammy Long?
Yes,
we
sir.
Also have a pair of tickets for this weekend's friendly between Colombia and Jordan at Snapdragon Stadium. You just got to keep listening for a sounder. It can play at any time over the next hour and a half or so. Once you hear it, be caller number 7 and you can win. Hey, pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen the news. It was announced earlier this morning at 10 o'clock that the golf tournament out at Torrey Pines, for years, it was the Buick Open, then the Farmers Insurance Open. We knew that last year was going to be the final year of the Farmers Insurance Open, and we've been waiting to see what it would be named this year and who would step up and take that over. Well, there was an opening on the bingo card because the PGA Tour decided to move out of Hawaii. So Century Insurance is stepping in and taking over the helm of the Torrey Pines Invitational, and it will be called the Century. I kind of like it.
Hell yeah, man. It's great.
Confirmed today. It will continue to be the first network TV golf tournament of the year, and we're actually going to be talking to the CEO of the Century Club, Marty Gorsuch, coming up at 12:30 to discuss the announcement. But obviously, lots to get to. Big news in the NFL. MYLES Garrett traded to the Los Angeles Rams. We got OBJ and Juju Smith-Schuster making their way to the New York Giants. Tons of movement going around in the NFL. And then there's the Padres. Padres lose 2 of 3.
The Padres are there, yeah.
They lose 2 of 3 to the Washington Nationals over the weekend. I'll be honest, I was in Vegas. I caught what I could of most of these games. I did not watch all of them. But it sounds like another frustrating weekend for the San Diego Padres. So probably the game I saw the most of was Saturday. And on Saturday, Fernando Tatis Jr. hits his first home run of the season. Pretty fun, right? Pretty exciting. It was a bomb, 451 feet out to left field, and it looked like old Fernando. Like he had that swing. It was no doubter the second it left his bat. Everyone knew it was a home run. And the funny thing was in that game, Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts also homered.
Easy W for the Padres, right?
Easy W. 9-4 loss.
No. I got to give you credit because you called it. It was going to be Murphy's Law that he was going to hit home run. They would all hit home runs, and the bullpen and starting rotation wouldn't hold up. Look, it just feels like
what I said a couple weeks ago, just to kind of clear ourselves here. I said there's going to be a stretch where Fernando, Manny, and Xander are all playing incredible for a couple of weeks, and the pitching is going to go into the drain.
I think what was frustrating this weekend is like it's hard. Like 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago from today. Yep, 2 weeks ago from today, the Dodgers are in town, and we're sitting here having the conversation of, man, can this team win the division? Is this different this year? Dodgers dealing with injuries at the time, wasn't playing very good baseball. You get them at home, prime opportunity to really make a statement to the rest of the NL West. Fast forward 2 weeks later, and the Dodgers beat you. The Phillies took it to you. You go on the road and lose the series to the Nationals. Now you're taking on the Phillies again tomorrow, who are at home, who it's not like you're getting any pitching breaks. I mean, Aaron Nola hasn't been some great pitcher, but he certainly looked good against the Padres last week. Christopher Sanchez still has his scoreless streak, so hopefully the Padres can break that. It's just the team feels so out of whack right now, and we've heard it for weeks. Like they have a positive record. They're sitting there. But when you look at the NL wild card, like forget thinking about the Dodgers who are 6.5 games up. That's like out of sight, out of mind right now, unless something severe happens. The Arizona Diamondbacks are playing much better baseball than you. The Nationals, who are right there in the wild card hunt, just beat you in the series. The Phillies, who were terrible the first couple weeks of the season, now have completely climbed out of the gutter and are sitting there challenging you for a wild card spot. So with all these teams clumped, the Cardinals are in there, the Cubs, it's just there is no room for error, and this team looks lost. And it the last couple weeks, it looks like how we all thought it was going to look when we kept talking about how the numbers aren't very good for the team statistics, but hey, they're finding ways to win games. We're giving them credit for that. It just feels like right now the wheels are coming off a little bit, and I don't know how they solve it, because to that end, the bats kind of wake up over this weekend. Merrill has a better weekend. Estrada gives it up yesterday, and the starting Griffin Canning has a rough outing. So it's just it's hard to look at this team right now as serious contenders unless something really changes, because outside of the bullpen, there's not really anything you could point to and go, that's great.
And Fernando backed up his first home run of the season with an 0 for 4 yesterday.
Right.
Like, it is, you need to see some consistency. I would love to see Fernando go on a month here where he's on fire and he's hitting great. But we're going to need to see it happen. All right, so the Padres are actually still the first team in the National League wild card because everybody had a bad weekend in the National League wild card. But there are now 8 teams within one game, or 7 teams within one game of the Padres. The one team that's actually 1.5 games behind the Padres, Philadelphia Phillies, who are on deck. The Padres start a series with them tomorrow.
I mean, we keep talking about the lack of wins against top tier NL West. You're 1-1 against the Diamondbacks. You're 1-2 against the Dodgers. The Phillies completely took it to you. The Nationals took it to you over the weekend. Like, you got the Braves coming up here. There is really no room for error. You're 1-2 against the Cubs. So even though, right to your point, it's all right there. It's all ahead of the Padres. But the way they're playing right now is not giving, at least me personally, much faith that they're going to be able to hold this up unless something drastically changes, because they're hard to watch every night. Like some nights like that, Saturday, the bats come alive. The pitching is a disaster. Sometimes the pitching's unbelievable and the bats are just nowhere to be found. They're a frustrating watch right now.
Coming up next, Marty Gorsuch is the CEO of the Century Club here in San Diego. They have just announced the new title sponsor of the Torrey Pines Golf Tournament on the PGA Tour, which is going to be happening at the very end of January this year, the 25th through the 30th. You'll hear all about it coming up next at San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's paid for by Southern California Partnership for Jobs. Massive trade out of the NFL today. Myles Garrett on his way to Los Angeles to be a member of the Rams. The Browns will be getting Jared Verse, a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third rounder. We got the NBA Finals matchup set after San Antonio took down OKC on Saturday night, 111-103. First game will be Wednesday in San Antonio at 5:30. San Antonio is a 5.5-point favorite against New York and the Knicks. And the Potters will be back tomorrow night on the road for another set against the Philadelphia Phillies, coming off their 1-2 performance over the weekend against the Nationals. Think traffic's getting worse? You're right. We waste 30% more time in traffic today. So vote yes on G. Fix streets and speed up commutes. Let's get home faster. Let's go San Diego. Vote yes on G. Ad paid for by Southern California Partnership for Jobs.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long with you. We'll be here till 2 o'clock. Sammy will take over after that from 2 to 3. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your drive home from 3 to 6. We got a lot going on, some excellent giveaways coming up within the next 45 minutes or so stay tuned. But we got a special guest joining the show. His name is Marty Gorsuch. He's the CEO of the Century Club here in San Diego. And Marty and a bunch of people got to make some pretty special announcements out at Torrey Pines earlier today. Marty, first of all, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Doing great. Big day. Excited to be here.
Well, it's a huge day, man. And we're pumped for you. We're pumped for the Century Club. We're pumped for San Diego. And I will let you make the announcement. So we got the press release around 10 a.m. today that Torrey Pines, the PGA Tour event at Torrey Pines, has a new title sponsor. Would you like to lay it out for us?
Yeah, we're really excited to announce that the event moving forward will be called the Century. They're a great tour sponsor. They actually were the title sponsor of the event that's been over in Hawaii. They started the year as a Tournament of Champions and then later a signature event. Unfortunately, with some of the things that have gone on with the island, with droughts and fires and other things, it just reached a point where it was challenging to host the event there. And they looked at where they might move on. And we were fortunate enough that our event was open for business. They're big fans of San Diego, big fans of our community. They're known as really reaching deep into the roots of the communities they support. And so this is a kind of a perfect match for us to not only bring in a new partner, but somebody who has a deep background in golf and also has a background in major PGA Tour events.
And that's what Torrey Pines has been forever. I believe this will be the 60th Torrey Pines PGA tournament coming up next year. And it's going to be January 25th is the week that it'll begin. It's going to finish up on January 30th with the Saturday finish again. So you guys are sticking to that, the Wednesday through Saturday model?
Yeah, that's it for this year. You know, as the tour is looking at some adjustments to really elevate certain events and have the best players playing at the best courses. So when you tune in, you know you're going to see the top guys. They're working through a model that they'll roll out for the 28th season, but 27, they're going to kind of continue the way they've been. So that layers us into that week in between Amex and Pebble there, opposite the conference championships. So we'll slide back into that Wednesday through Saturday format, but with the new title for this year, and then anxious to see what happens for 28 and beyond.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be a ton of fun. For 75 years, the PGA Tour has hosted elite competition here in San Diego, and we know it's been elite. I mean, the winners that you guys get out at Torrey Pines are some of what makes it such an attractive stop on the PGA Tour. Justin Rose winning last year. Of course, the years of Tiger and Phil seemingly ping-ponging back and forth every year who was going to win. Is that the expectation moving forward, that the field's going to be stacked out at Torrey?
Yeah, to your point, we've always been blessed with a really top-notch field. And we'd expect nothing but the same this year. You know, the players also know Century well. They've been hosted by that company, and they have a lot of personal relationships. And they've already heard from players that they're excited they're coming to Torrey, and it's one more reason players would come out here. But we know we're going to have a great field. And to your point, we've had so many great champions. And a big part of that is just tied to the fact that it's a hard golf course, and you don't luck into it. It takes the best to come here and beat a course like this. And you look at a lot of our repeat champions. They're big names: Jason Day, Brant Snedeker, Justin Rose, obviously Tiger and Phil and others with their history here. So would expect another very strong field. And whether it's a name you know well, or sometimes it's a winner who you don't know in the beginning, they go on to show why they were able to win here and become a great champion on the tour.
Marty, I'm curious, what is your favorite Torrey memory over the years of watching all these years? What is your favorite pinnacle moment?
Wow, that is a great question. And they probably blend between competitive moments and just crowd moments. Even last year, just getting back, on a Sunday with this perfect weather we had. I think we were 75 every day. So the crowds were huge. People were out in mass. We had a great champion. People were following. And I remember standing there behind 18, watching Justin finish out and looking down the fairway and just seeing San Diego show up and show out. Like all the boxes were full. Down the left side, we were 10 people deep. The lodge lawn was full. The weather was perfect. I mean, it was just, I grew up here. I'm a San Diegan. I love our community, our city, and what this event does. And that to me, honestly, might be one of my favorite memories. Just looking at that, I think there's some question, would the tour be back? Will we have a new title? And in that moment, I just felt both gratitude and also kind of confidence that, look at this, there's no way that this can't continue.
It's funny, Marty. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about like how there was maybe a window where the PGA Tour might not be back in San Diego next year, and about how brutal that would be. Because for my entire life, growing up in a family that loves golf and loves watching every single year, it felt like Torrey Pines was the unofficial kickoff of the PGA Tour calendar. And to know that that's coming back in a big way is extremely meaningful for me. And I know a lot of San Diegans who buy up and show up every single year to now the Century. So we're going to have to rename websites. Are we going crazy over the next couple of weeks? What's your paperwork look like these days, Marty?
We're finally done knocking on wood and caveating every discussion, and now we can get to work. We're under 8 months to this year's event. So to your point, logos and letterhead, trophies and plans. We know we've always run a great event, and our surveys and the fan feedback tells us the same, but always looking at ways to elevate it. And we've got a partner who's going to push us and want us to keep doing more and making it better. So really excited to roll up the sleeves and get to work on what 27 is going to look like, and really hopefully set a bar to keep it here for many years to come and keep elevating that bar as well.
Well, Marty Gorsuch, CEO of the Century Club of San Diego, thank you for your time. And is that confusing at all, by the way, the Century Club and the Century? Like, I know it's a different spelling, but we're going to have to distinguish that somehow.
Yeah, lots of things to work through. If these are our problems, we're going to be okay, though. We're back. We're back in here for a while. But yeah, that's one we'll navigate together.
We're back, and we love it. Thank you, Marty. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, Marty Gorsuch, there he goes, the CEO of the Century Club of San Diego. If you missed it, Century spelled Sentry, the insurance company, is now going to be sponsoring the PGA Tour event at Torrey Pines. It's going to happen this upcoming January. Events will get started on January 25th and will finish up on January 30th. Going to be awesome. Can't wait for it. Always one of my favorite stops on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, Torrey's unbelievable. It's a shame that they're not getting a major. It's complete BS, because it is such I don't know if they are thinking that it's such a staple of the PGA Tour anyway. So they're thinking is that, well, we don't need to make it a major because people are always going to tune in. It's a shame, because you get the history with Tiger and Jack over the years. And we know San Diego in Southern California is such a big golf hotbed that it's a bummer that they won't be getting that anytime soon.
I mean, I don't know that it's never going to happen again. It feels like for the next few years, certainly it won't. But
isn't it booked out for like 10 years?
Yeah, but it's a USGA problem. It's what they're dealing with, and they've picked Pebble as their favorite in California, which Pebble's amazing. So it's obviously going to have U.S. Opens. I just think there's room for more. It's not like football where you want the Super Bowl rotating between a few cities because you need either indoor or great weather. You need all these different things that you kind of have to check the list for football. That's not true with golf. I don't know that the U.S. Open, which is meant to showcase some of the greatest cities and the greatest golf courses in the country, we have more than just 8 or 9 great golf courses in the United States. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I do think if there was some sort of rotation, I could understand it, but the rotation needs to be expanded, because it shouldn't just be the same 4 or 5 courses over and over again. And Torrey Pines absolutely has earned a spot as one of those courses, considering how excellent the play has been there over the years, and not just whatever iteration of the regular season event is, which is now the Century, but also the U.S. Opens that have been held there have been fantastic.
Right. Well, also it's nice when it rotates too, because you have certain players we see yearly that can play terrible golf, and for some reason they play on their some course, right, and they play it really well. And that's a testament to them. But we've seen that with golfers, they play here very well. So it's nice to see kind of the majors always shifting and kind of spotlighting somewhere else. It's a shame they're not getting anytime soon, but we'll still be a big event.
Hopefully it happens someday. Can't wait for the Century though. We'll be out there. Cannot wait for it. And it's also like the first event of the year where Jim Nance is back. So it feels like golf is back. It'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. Earlier today announced the Century is now the golf tournament out in San Diego at Torrey Pines every single year. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We got awesome giveaways for you today. We'll tell you all about them on the other side. Plus, we're going to do long shots with Sammy. We got some money to make up after a weekend where we didn't make much money. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you. It was fun catching up with Marty Gorsuch. Cannot wait for the PGA Tour to make its return to San Diego, now under the name The Century, happening in late January. Hey, we got $2,500 to give away. It's coming up very, very soon. You got to listen for your chance to win $2,500 in celebrating America turning 250. San Diego Sports 760 is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Listen for your chance to win your share. There's going to be a keyword coming up after 2:00 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Take that nationwide keyword over to sportssd.com and enter it there for your chance to win. All right. Dylan Harper screwed long shots over the weekend by dunking when his team was already going to win and messing up the over-under of the Spurs.
Yeah, I had some close one. I mean, that was like a point off. Ray Ford fought a great fight against Shaqy Foster. Gave you a live underdog. Interesting decision there, but Foster probably deserved the win. Song Yadong did win, but unfortunately he didn't go the distance. He did win by a submission, but of course Francis came through for us. Francis Tiafoe over the weekend.
That was crazy. That fight, the Song Yadong fight, happened at like 4 a.m. on Saturday.
I know. I woke up. I was like going to watch it, and I was like, I just checked to see if it was going to cash, and unfortunately, it didn't.
It was already over. I was hoping to go put some money on that in the sports book in Vegas, and the fight was already done by the time I got down there. But we did get this text from the 858 on that Spurs OKC game that said, Fletch, give the Spurs some respect. They won that series fair and square. Victor is the new face of the NBA. Besides his talent, he seems like a very humble young man. Watching him hug his teammates showed an emotion you don't see in sports anymore. I think the first thing I said when Sammy asked about that game was the Spurs making every shot they took at the opening part of that game.
Yeah, I think you were pretty complimentary of the Spurs.
I thought the Spurs played amazing, and I'm a big fan of Victor Wembanyama, man. I think the NBA is in A-OK hands if he is the face moving forward.
I just think it's funny how, once again, not a repeat champion.
Nope.
And every year we mark the team that wins as this is the future. It was OKC, it was Boston, it was the Nuggets, the Warriors. I mean, go all the way back until the Warriors went back to back. We mark teams as this is the next dynasty before they actually become a dynasty. And the Oklahoma City, we thought were just sitting in good hands. And yes, they'll be one of the best teams next year. But like they have some decisions. Like, are you going to keep running it back with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren? Is this trio good enough? Because not only do you have the Spurs, who look like they're going to be very dominant, the Rockets looking to get a point guard. The Lakers are going to get help. Minnesota might get, Ant-Man to pair with Giannis, someone like that. So the West is not just a cakewalk, whereas we've kind of talked about that in regards to the Lakers and other teams. I mean, it's not going to be just an easy path to get there every year, whereas in some of the other years in the Eastern Conference, it was kind of a one-way ticket.
913, Sammy, did you play the sounder for the soccer tickets yet?
We have not.
You have not. Okay, so that means there's still a pair of tickets for Columbia and Jordan coming up this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium this Sunday. You can buy tickets at sandiegofc.com/countdown to 26, or you can win them here on San Diego Sports 760. You just got to listen for a sounder. It will be obvious, I promise. And we can play it at any time between now and 2:00. So keep on listening for that. And finally, 858 said, shout out to the Spurs for saving basketball this weekend.
Yes.
I think it's going to be an excellent finals. I really do. This is, I think, of the teams available in this year's NBA playoff pool, this gives us the best final. I do believe that.
I'm curious who people are rooting for, because you would think if you would have said this,
I'm kind of going for the Knicks, which feels weird.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Normally, you would think people root against the big cities. If you're not a fan of the Lakers, not a fan of the Knicks, Boston, you're not going to root for those teams. If it was Oklahoma City in New York, everyone would be rooting for the Knicks. I think both teams are likable. Like I think the Spurs, Wemby plays with an edge, a fire. I think you can kind of get behind. They're a young, fun team.
Stephon Castle's been the most electric player in the NBA postseason this year.
I found myself wanting the Knicks though, because I really want this narrative that has been thrown out there. We can get into a little bit more hour two, like Becky Hammond, Draymond Green. People are chirping Jalen Brunson that the best player in your team can't be 6'2" and below. All Jalen Brunson does is lead his team past where experts and pundits think they should go. And this is just the ultimate challenge. And if he does it, I mean, that whole narrative is gone.
I'm all for the Knicks. I think I'm rooting for them, at least as of right now. That could change 10 times over the next couple of days, which the series will begin on Wednesday. All right, let's get to long shots here and then listen very, very shortly for San Diego County Fair tickets coming up right after long shots. Sammy, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
All righty. We got Roland Garros.
Yes.
We got Major League Baseball.
Yes.
That's about it.
Yeah, we are. This is the slow pickings time of year, especially in a couple weeks. But luckily, we'll have World Cup to bet on. If you think that I'm not going to get some Golazo picks for everyone, we're not getting some Croatian W's throughout the tourney. Just you wait. I promise you. Don't question our soccer knowledge. All right. Let's head to baseball first. No
Thank
Padres.
God this Francis Tiafoe match started already because you would have bet big on Tiafoe.
Yes.
And it's not looking great.
He's all right now in the second set. He got screwed in a tie break in the first. But listen, Francis is going to be just fine. I promise you. All right. Let's head to Major League Baseball first. We got Dodgers Diamondbacks tonight. 8.5. 8.5. We're going to go with the over on the run total. Sorry, I just got okay. Over on the run total by the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I think that there's a lot of scoring in this game. Look, Emmett Sheehan is going for the Dodgers tonight. Sheehan has had a really good fastball command. He has kind of elevated. He's working out the back end of that rotation, but you do figure Sheehan is trying to compete for his job because when Tyler Glasnow's back, when Blake Snell's back, you figure he's going to be a bit of a bullpen piece. But Eduardo Rodriguez, so the Dodgers, like Eduardo Rodriguez, his ERA has been better this year, 2.31. Sheehan's at a 4.70, but he has his last couple starts have been better. He started off the season pretty rough, but in some of those games, they didn't get him a lot of run support, and there were some errors on the defensive side. The Dodgers have been heating up, playing some excellent baseball recently, destroyed the Phillies yesterday, 9-1. I think they're going to be able to hit Eduardo Rodriguez, but that Arizona lineup is very talented with Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, 1 through 9. This is a sneaky team that's also playing some good baseball. I expect a really good series between these two. I like the over in the game, over 8.5. All right, let's head to Roland Garros in this one. We got a couple really fun matchups on the men's side going on tomorrow morning. We got Alexander Zverev taking on Rafael Jodar, the Spaniard, taking on Zverev. Now, Zverev is the favorite in this tournament. He has become the favorite because Carlos Alcaraz did not play, Jannik Sinner gets upset, and then Novak Djokovic gets upset. So Zverev the other day, or yesterday morning in his match, did not get off to a really good start whatsoever. You could tell he was playing nervous. He wasn't attacking the ball. His forehand wasn't great. Then he settled down and was able to really take command. Jodar is a 19-year-old. He's got a bright future in the tennis world. He's coming off a grueling 5-set match on Sunday morning. I do think Zverev has settled down in this tournament. I like him -1.5 on the spread. Okay, so you can win sets -1.5. I think he wins in straight sets or he drops one. But the amount of Jodar's never been in this territory. He's never been this far in a major. I think the pressure gets to him playing center court. I like Zverev -1.5. The other big time matchup. So João Fonseca taking on Jakub Mensik. Jakub, man, you like that, Flesh?
The pronunciations are outrageous, and you're nailing all of them. I'm proud of you.
Nailing all of them. Okay, Fonseca. So Fonseca made a name for himself. Another teenager, 19. All these teenagers are just ruling tennis right now.
He's the one who beat Djokovic.
He's the one who beat Djokovic. So unbelievable meltdown from Djokovic. Fonseca comes back down 2-0. But Mensik, though, has quietly had a really good tournament. So he is going off at +170. I like the odds here on Mensik to win. He beat Alex de Minaur, Andre Rublev in his last couple matches. Those are very good tennis players. Andre Rublev was on a little bit of a heater coming into this tournament, back to the ATP Rome and some of the last events. And de Minaur is a guy who's also been tested against some of the top competition, your Alcarazes, your Sinners, your guys like that. Mensik is a live dog, and I think a lot of the betting market is going with Fonseca. Maybe people don't tune in a bunch of tennis, and they just watch that Djokovic went down, so they're like, he's gonna take him down. Fonseca is a very good tennis player with a bright future. I like the odds here at +170 getting Mensik on Kalshi. So tonight, Major League Baseball, I like Diamondbacks and Dodgers over. Bats of the Dodgers been heating up, and the Diamondbacks on a little bit of a heater as well. And I think Sheehan and Rodriguez are going to be there to be hit. I like Mensik to pull the upset +170 against João Fonseca tomorrow morning. And I think Zverev, the favorite, beats Rafael Jodar in -1.5 sets on that one, -1.5.
Perfect. I like it. How about a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair? You don't need to put any lineups in for this. You just need to call in at 877-767-4760. Once upon a fair, there was a tale of food, fun, friends, family, laughter, tradition, music, amazement, and more. The San Diego County Fair. It's the biggest and longest running event in San Diego County, and it makes its triumphant return from June 10th through July 5th. Visit sdfair.com to plan your happily ever after, or give us a call right now. Are we saying caller number 10, Sammy?
Caller number 10.
Caller number 10. You're going to the San Diego County Fair and you're getting 4 tickets to take whoever you want with you. 877-767-4760. Hour number 2. Plenty more reaction to everything that's gone down in the NFL as of today. And we'll talk some more Padres on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
Sports sponsored by the San Diego International Airport. The breaking news of the day: Myles Garrett, star pass rusher for the formerly of the Browns, now is a Los Angeles Ram. The Browns are getting back star pass rusher Jared Verse, a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third rounder in the deal. We got the NBA Finals set. Knicks Spurs getting going on Wednesday live from San Antonio. That game will be at 5:30 for game 1 of the NBA Finals. And the Padres be back on the road tomorrow night, taking on the Phillies for another 3-game set after facing them last week. The Phillies did sweep them last week. San Diego International Airport is getting an upgrade. The new Terminal 1 will arrive 2025, and with it, more space, places to dine and shop, and unique features like an outside terrace overlooking San Diego Bay. Check out all the upgrades at newt1.com.
We will start from the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
That's how it starts.
Well, at least something positive came from DC.
Great catch. Oh, here's a drive to deep left field up the bat and then gone. Home run number 1 of 2026.
The road trip continues tomorrow night in Philly. The U.S. makes a statement before the World Cup. Plus,
I want winners.
This cannot go wrong.
I like Ray Ford on the money line, plus 140 to beat Oshaki Foster in boxing.
What is this happening?
Like Song Yadong to win going the distance, plus 110.
We're halfway there.
We got the Spurs and the Thunder game 7. I like the under 212.5 in this game. We're staying away from the pick because I think this is really a toss-up game.
The Spurs are headed to the NBA Finals. 111-103.
The math ain't mathin', honey.
Miles Garrett is going to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are expected to send Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and other draft pick compensation.
We have sort of a problem here.
we enter the month of June from the San Diego Sports 760 studios in the zone with Fletch and Sammy.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Shout out to Marcos, who won those tickets for the San Diego County Fair.
Marcos.
We still have a pair of tickets for this Sunday's international friendly Columbia and Jordan at Snapdragon Stadium. Our text line is saying that Sammy should be the one who wins those tickets, actually, because Colombian women are the most beautiful women in the world. That's from our text line here. And maybe the future Mrs. Long will be at that game.
Do the boys have to make a little trip down to Snapdragons weekend?
I mean, I'm married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, but if Sammy wants to find his most beautiful woman on the planet, maybe she'll be there.
What's the other game? Because there's Columbia and Jordan.
I don't know.
There's a game on Sunday.
That is the game on Sunday.
Hold on, there's a game. Hold on, I'll figure this out.
All right, well, Sammy's going to figure that out. I'm going to let you know that we do have those tickets to give away, and the sounder can play at any time. It will be obvious when it plays, but there's going to be big voice guy telling you something about what's going on with Columbia and Jordan, and when you hear that, you have to be caller number 7.
Switzerland and Australia are on Saturday.
How about that?
Shout out to Swiss and Australian women. Australian women.
Australian
women.
Not Austrian. CJ, we're going to need that in the open tomorrow, por favor. Go ahead and rip it. It is San Diego Sports 760. And Sammy, I'm sure you can find love there too, though. Anything to add, or are you done?
I'm good.
Okay. In the NFL, there's been a ton of moves. One thing we have not talked about at all over the course of the first hour and 3 minutes of the show is the fact that Russell Wilson's no longer an NFL quarterback.
Oh, who cares about that?
Russell Wilson is now a CBS Sports draft analyst.
Russell Wilson,
not draft analyst, NFL analyst.
Russell Wilson really thought he was going to own the day. He's like, you know what? I'm going to nail the NFL headlines, and I'm going to announce I'm going to CBS. And then the Rams decided to trade for Myles Garrett.
Within 45 minutes of Russell Wilson's thing, all of a sudden it was the Cleveland Browns trading Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams. Now it is like, look, Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks of the last 15 years. I have no problem saying that. When he was with the Seattle Seahawks, when he was dominating the NFC, made it to a couple of Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson was near the top. He was in the MVP conversation every year. He would have big, flashy statistics games. He threw one of the prettier deep balls ever. I mean, I could still picture him throwing to Doug Baldwin down the sideline. Him to Tyler Lockett all those years was such a great connection. Russell Wilson might have played himself out of a Hall of Fame jacket, but that doesn't mean at one point in his career he was thought of as a no-doubt Hall of Famer. That is true. The last few years has been a disaster, and it started when he got shipped off to Denver. The whole let's ride era of Russell Wilson, which was very weird. Now I guess it's the let's analyze era of Russell Wilson as he's going to be on TV.
Russell Wilson was great when he had his legs.
Yeah,
that's the
great
problem
point.
is that Pete Carroll and the Seahawks knew that once he couldn't run anymore, because that was a big factor in his game. Him and RG3, they were in the same draft class. That whole grouping, they lit the world on fire because they could run as well. And he had a beautiful deep ball and all that kind of stuff. So it added another dimension. Then you took that away and the accuracy wasn't always there for Russ. And yeah, it wasn't the same with Denver, and certainly with the Giants. That was a disaster. But yes, he got buried on the headlines today.
So in terms of us, what it means to us is Matt Ryan is leaving CBS Sports because Matt Ryan's going to be, I believe he's the president of the Atlanta Falcons organization now. And so Russ is sliding into his role. So it'll be Russ with James Brown, Nate Burleson.
I don't think Russ is going to be great at that.
I don't either. That's what I was going to say. Like Russell Wilson, if you ever hear him talk for an extended period of time, is an extremely cringy human being. Like he's just weird, man. And so I think Russ on TV, as we're getting ready for Sundays, which I do love the CBS Sports Desk usually. Like I think Nate Burleson does a hell of a job. Coach Cower, I think, is incredible. And James Brown is like a legend of the game. And then Russ, like what the hell is Russ going to add to this? I don't really get it.
Well,
like why were people lining up to sign Russell Wilson?
I don't see that. I mean, there's been some of the athletes turned pundits.
Who was the
Romo's been great.
Romo was really good. Who was the disaster on Monday Night Football? The Cowboys tight end.
Witten.
Jason Witten.
Terrible.
One of the worst ever. Drew Brees, really, really bad.
Yes. We'll get some
Drew,
flack.
If you're listening right now, I love you, pal.
Drew Brees.
Really bad.
Legend. NBC Studios, not a job for him. Okay. That was not his strong suit. Throwing the football.
He's still doing it. I think he's still part of NBC's coverage.
Is he? I thought he left.
He's I could be wrong, but he's out of the booth for games for sure. But I think he's still part of the.
Bruce Arians was so bad. Remember how bad Bruce Arians was?
Awful.
You know who was great though? Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett.
Terrific.
I really like on the NBC desk. Like because what I like about Jason Garrett, he's not afraid to say stuff.
Like former players, they get a lot of smack sometimes. I think Tom Brady actually did a pretty good job.
I think Brady's been good.
Hysterical that Greg Olson was the guy who won the award for the best play-by or the color analyst broadcaster of the year. Greg Olson won it through the Emmys or whatever.
And Olson's really good.
Olson's great. Tom Brady replaced Olson. That's the funny part about it. And Olson was still the guy who ended up winning the award. I think Dan Fouts, for my money, in my life, I thought Fouts was incredible. You can kind of miss me with Troy Aikman, but I know a lot of people like him. I find Troy Aikman and Joe Buck nauseating. That's just me.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are not my.
But CBS, please don't put Russ on a game broadcast. Like we only have so many NFL game broadcasts that we get to sit down and enjoy throughout our life.
The problem,
please don't put Russ on.
The problem with Russ is Russ is going to be he's going to be overly complimentary.
Sure.
He's way too like everyone's just like all together and like it's like is the magic that we had Pete and I had in Seattle. It's like stop.
Hey, when I was on Team Planes, I tell you what, I was getting my workouts in when I can find it. That would be Russ. Russ is so that guy. Oh, we don't need it. We don't need it. All right, let's get to the big three of hour number 2. I promise you we'll talk some more about Tatis finding his power again. We'll talk more about that Myles Garrett trade and the ripple effect that it has across the NFL. But we can't not talk about Russ. Come on, he's a legend. Let's get to the big three. Sammy Smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The big three.
The 10-time Pro Bowler, Russell Wilson, stepping away.
Is he 10-time?
10-time Pro Bowler?
That surprises me.
What does Pro Bowlers actually mean?
Yeah, it's a popularity contest.
Right. Where are we going, Sammy?
Let's go to Myles Garrett. I mean, come on. Biggest story of the day. Myles Garrett headed to the LA Rams from the jump. Who got the better end of the deal? Because I think personally, when I asked that question, what would trade grades? What would you give? Because Myles Garrett is unbelievable.
I'm sorry, we got a timeout real quick.
What?
We got a timeout for the text line. I'm sorry I didn't see this earlier. 615 texted and said, Sammy, that's a lovely accent. Where are you from? Her. Austria. Sammy. Well then, let's throw another shrimp on the bobby.
That's not entirely wrong.
They're two very different places. I don't even think Austria exists anymore.
Austria doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know. Let's go.
Someone fact check him. Austria is not a country anymore? That Austria is a country. It's at least a territory.
Let me look.
Is Austria a country? AI.
It's currently a federation of 9 states. Capital Vienna.
See. You say it's not a country.
No, I didn't say that. I said I don't think it's a place anymore.
What is there between a federation in a country?
You're asking
a federation, like Okay, who knows? Who has any idea? Should have paid more attention in geography. All right, Myles Garrett, trade grades off the jump. Myles Garrett going to the Rams versus going back to the Browns for a first-round pick next year, second rounder the year after, and a third rounder the year after that.
I really do think this is excellent for the Browns long term. Obviously, if the Rams win a Super Bowl, the Rams won the trade, right? And that's why they make this move, is for Myles Garrett to come in and help them win a Super Bowl this year. This also should tell you about what they think about Matthew Stafford and his future. I'm assuming this is probably Matthew Stafford's last shot at it. We've heard rumors about his retirement over the last 4 or 5 years. Them getting Myles Garrett and giving up as much as they did to get Myles Garrett means the Rams think that next year things are going south with Matthew Stafford. So if the Rams go and win a Super Bowl this year, the Rams win the trade. If not, then I would have to say the Browns win the trade. They got a first-round pick. They got a couple other picks. They have an excellent young pass rusher in Jared Verse, who I think is going to be terrific for his career. And it feels like the Browns are making some long-term moves, but if the Rams win now, Rams win the trade.
I'm with you, right? If the Rams win the Super Bowl, it's, of course, I mean, how do you not win the trade? But the Browns are one of 2 teams next year, them and the Jets. The Jets have 3 first-round picks. The Browns have 2. So they're one of 2 teams that in a draft class that has, I mean, Maeva, Dante Moore, Lenora Sellers, Arch Manning, go down the list. Julian Sayin, the local kid, CJ Carr. There might be, and this will get whittled down because we'll see the college football season. There could be 6, 7, maybe even 8 quarterbacks who are being talked about in the first round. So if you're the Browns and you're the Jets, and we talked about for years ad nauseum how you've never had the gunslinger, you haven't had your guy, like both of them have the ability with the draft ammo to go get who they want. So I think if you're the Browns, rather than wasting away having a great player in Myles Garrett on a team that has no chance to win a Super Bowl, trade him. Yes, for the rest of the NFL, it's scary because the Rams do have the best roster in the entire league, but the Browns now have the ability to go get the quarterback that they want next year instead of the quarterback that falls to them, because they also have the 4th easiest schedule in the league. So the Browns could luck into some wins here throughout the season where they're not picking number 1. They want some draft ammo to be able to get after it.
Love it. What's next?
All right. So interesting quotes. Draymond Green back in the media again. If you didn't see it a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, Becky Hammon talked to the Las Vegas Aces head coach, talked about how she didn't believe that a player 6'2" and under could be the best player in the NBA on a championship winning team. Draymond Green said, and I quote, "I double down on this, just like Becky Hammon said, prove me wrong, double down, absolutely double down. Getting out of the East has never been a surefire way to get a championship. What are y'all talking about? You get out of the East because you're supposed to get out of the effing East."
Look, there's no question the East was not as good as the West this year. I think that's true, but I also think the Knicks are easily good enough to beat the San Antonio Spurs. And I think the Spurs would be playing with fire. I also think it's just a weird take. Like, why are you taking down Jalen Brunson, who is mopping the floor with everybody he goes up against? Like, sure, the East isn't that great, and maybe that helped the Knicks get out. I'm positive it did. But they also were obliterating people to get out of the East. And now they come into this, and I see this being a 6 or 7 game series. Don't you, Sammy?
I 100% do.
So I'm looking at this like, why are we talking bad about Jalen Brunson? Because he's a little bit shorter. It feels very heightist to me. That's what it feels like.
Well, why is Draymond Green talking?
Also, Draymond Green played with someone who people put literally on the top 5 of NBA all-time players in Steph Curry, who's 6'3".
It's like Draymond thinks he gets to talk. Look, will he be Hall of Famer? Yes. He has 4 rings. No one's going to take that away from him. But
prove me wrong. Steph Curry's 6'2".
Right. Steph Curry. First off, the take is wrong because Steph Curry's 6'2". She brought up Allen Iverson, Becky Hammon. Allen Iverson ran up against Kobe and Shaq in those Lakers. Allen Iverson was the one player that entire Laker playoff run to defeat the Lakers in any game, dropping 50. Iverson, you've seen some great players over the years that are on the shorter side. This is just a dumb narrative. If you build the team around them correctly, yes, if you're small, you have deficiencies in terms of defense that you're going to have to make up with wing defenders and a lot of big-time centers, but it's a dumb narrative. And Draymond Green talks like he has the ability to. I mean, you play with Steph Curry. You play with Kevin Durant. You play with Klay Thompson. You play with Andre Iguodala, Steve Kerr, a Hall of Fame coach. Not that Draymond isn't a great player, because he is. He will be a Hall of Famer, 4 rings. But let's stop acting like you didn't get carried through all those championship runs And now we're just taking shots at the Knicks now. Like, I don't hear you saying that about your guy LeBron, because LeBron went to the finals every year in the Eastern Conference, and he wouldn't say that about LeBron because he's friends with LeBron. But now we're saying about Jalen Brunson. It feels very hypocritical to me. I don't like that from Draymond Green.
All right, we got one more we can squeeze in.
We'll do Padres on the other side.
Perfect. San Diego Padres lose 2 out of 3 to the Nationals over the weekend. They're going to the team who just swept them, the Philadelphia Phillies. What do we need to see out of them coming up this week in Philly? It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio present our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music and once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We're going to announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you can win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you need to know happening tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeartRadio and San Diego Sports 760. Yes, Tatis hit his first home run of the year over the weekend. We'll get to it in a minute. But a text from the 619. Just saw you on YouTube, Fletch. You've gotten really fat.
Man.
And yes, Austria is a country. Thanks.
You know what? That's a little harsh.
619. I needed that today. Can I actually tell you, we were in Vegas and we were staying at Resorts World. Have you been there?
Yes.
Massive, huge, like 3 hotels all in one. And so we were staying there. And there's something about the Resorts World elevator on the Conrad side of the Resorts World where my wife was like looking back in the mirror. You know how like elevators, sometimes you could see the reflection. And she was like, wow, we look awful. We're going on a diet starting Monday.
Okay.
I've not eaten a single thing of food or had a single drop of coffee today.
Okay.
I've only had water.
I got to tell you something.
I feel awful. And thanks, 619. You might just be my last reason. I'm going to go get a deep fried Twinkie.
619. That's a little mean, man.
No, I'll take it.
No, cool. Okay. What's the diet?
I think I'm going to go carnivore for like a week, see how that works out. And then
what do you mean? Week, you just eat meat?
Yeah, next week I'll add some veggies in.
Can I try to tell you something? You don't work out at the level. I mean, this is all due respect.
Bring it on, Sammy.
The carnivore diet is for people who lift
Browns
weights.
Have already hurt me. You might as well keep on going.
No. We're trying to help you out. The text line is everyone's trying to help you out. You cannot just eat meat for a week and not work out. If you're lifting weights, it would work. See what you need to do.
I've done carnivore before. It works. It works real well. I went like a month and a half of carnivore and I dropped like 25 pounds. It was great.
So you just ate meat, no veggies, nothing.
I did meat and cheese last time.
So you're doing protein. See, if you add a little weightlifting in there, if you want to come to the gym with me,
I'm not going to the gym.
We will get you right for summer.
I am going to throw some push-ups into the routine. How about that?
What if
that's lifting this body weight, man?
Dude, do we have any gyms listening? Does anyone want to sponsor Fletch on his journey?
Dude, I'm not going to the gym. I don't like gyms. All right.
What's wrong with gyms?
I hate gyms. They're the worst.
What's wrong with gyms? Gyms are great.
Let's see. 913 to the Padres get swept by the Phillies again. I hope not. 858. I thought Steph Curry was 6'3". Google it. I just did.
The Curry 6'2".
619 is just a salesperson for SD Fat Loss. Fletch, don't fall for it. They just want commission.
913 is looking out.
Dude, I miss SD Fat Loss. They were great. If they want to come back on,
what is that, like a pill or something?
No. We had SD Fat Loss as part of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Awesome company. I really like those people. And it was like you took a supplement during the day, but it wasn't a GLP-1 or anything. But then they like made a diet for you, personalized to you.
Okay.
And
it's not just cocaine in a pill to speed your heart rate up.
No, there's like it's supplements. You like use a little eyedropper to drop them on your tongue in the morning.
Okay.
And then the diet, like they plan it down to the minute of your day to the amount of food you need and everything.
Why don't you do that?
Because I don't have SD Fat Loss anymore. If they want to come back, I would love to have them.
Trust me, Travis would get on it with you.
Dude, TD. So that was all three of us were on it. And me and Rich lost like 50 pounds each. It was crazy. TD lost like 10 pounds.
Yeah. TD was cheating. TD was in his office mowing Cheez-Its.
It was a fun time. Those ad reads we would do for them were like 5 minutes long. And it would always open up with Rich saying, look, we had to grease the door to get Fletch in one morning. We had to put oil all around it to try to get him in. And then we found it was so funny. Oh, that was a good era. All right. We're going to talk Padres here. Let's get into it. Talking about trimming the fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what? So the Padres have the game that we were all waiting for, right? And Fernando, Manny, and Xander. How many times has that happened, by the way, over the course of their tenure with the Padres?
I'm not sure.
They all hit a home run in the same game. Somehow, with your three guys hitting a home run each in one game, you still only manage 4 runs. And the Padres get beat 2 out of 3 times by the Nationals. Now, that's frustrating. Sure. You look at the wild card standings, the Padres still at the top. The record's still good. Now, remember, they had a 7-0 stretch back in the day against the Mariners and the Rockies, where they won 7 straight games. Without that, where are they? Like, that's the question I would be asking. And This offense still isn't good. Sure, they showed some signs of life over the weekend, but what happens now? You're playing against the Phillies. 2 pitchers who just completely dominated. You're going to see again in who's the guy with the scoreless streak? Christopher Sanchez and Aaron Nola are going to be pitching against you again this week. So you're going back up against some guys who just dominated you, and this time it's on their home turf.
Right. It's also hard for me. By the way, we have breaking news on the NFL. AJ Brown just got traded to the Patriots. We will get to that on the other side.
Shefty called it. He said June 1st, like 2 months ago.
Yep. Shefty.
Look at him go. This guy.
Adam Schefter. We'll get to that on the other side. But in terms of the Padres, right? It's hard for me. Like I was watching John and Jim on the wrap-up show last night, and Jim was going off. And I was kind of like, a lot of the comments were, people frustrated with like Estrada gave it up yesterday. Tough bullpen. Griffin Canning wasn't great. Has starting rotation been great? No. But this is again.
I mean, I would argue yes for the first until the last week.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, have they been fantastic, unbelievable? No. But if you would have said again with the Musgrove and Pavetta injuries that they would have held up for this long, I think you would take that. And it's hard for me to go out with the bullpen here and the starting rotation here when you've had to ask them to be perfect. I mean, you have had to ask them to go above and beyond, and it's if Musgrove, Pavetta were there and all these guys were Giolito been there since day one, I'd be like, yeah, you're expecting close to perfection. But considering that you're rolling with the Griffin Cannings, the Walker Buehlers, the Herman Marquezes for a minute, like you had to go with some guys who certainly were low on the totem pole in terms of free agency and survive with them. It's about time that the Padres offense started getting going. And you brought up the point. Like Fernando hits the home run Saturday. Great to see. You could see it on his face, just kind of complete relief, finally hit a home run.
About the dugout shot where Jackson Merrill's like literally looking up at heaven and saying, "Thank God it finally happened."
And then what happens? He follows up with over 4. So I'm not wishing ill things on Fernando Tatis, but that was also the question we brought up last week. Everyone made so much about when is the time he hits the first home run. Well, what about what's going to happen after that? Was it everyone's predicted that he was going to go on a streak and he hit the first one? It was going to be it lights out. It was back to the old Fernando. 1 game sample size, so I'm not going to write him off just yet. Didn't look good yesterday. So you talk about a big series in regards to the standings, in regards to getting some respect back as the Padres. This Philly series is massive over the next 3 days.
Seemed like your boy Francis Tiafo just had a big moment. There's a big scream from the big foe.
The big foe might win this tournament. I'm telling you right now.
That was a big celebration. Right? Is that something we should have put money on, or what are we doing?
Trust me, when Francis wins this match, we're going to hit him plus money on the next match.
Okay.
619 said enough of that talk, boys. Breaking news. AJ Brown and the Pats. Thank God and finally from our Eagles fans.
We will get to it on the other side. AJ Brown is now a New England Patriot. Also, still to come. We got about 30 minutes left in the show today. There is going to be a sounder that plays. That sounder is your ticket to go see Columbia and Jordan this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. If you would like to win those tickets, you got to be caller number 7 as soon as that sounder plays. We have not played it for you yet, which means there's 30 minutes left. Keep listening.
So you have to listen
if you want to go to the game coming up this weekend.
You have to listen, period.
Yeah, and it could be in the middle of a commercial break. It could be right now.
Did it play?
It did not.
It didn't play.
You got to keep listening for your chance to win. It's San Diego Sports 760. Breaking news in the NFL. We'll tell you all about it coming up next.
Sports sponsored by Allstate. Breaking news. 2 massive NFL trades today. A.J. Brown officially on his way to the New England Patriots. The Eagles will be getting back a 2028 first-round pick, so not next year, but 2028, and a 2027 fifth-round pick are coming back to Philly. A.J. Brown will reunite with Mike Vrabel, who he spent time with in Tennessee. And then the big news of the day as well, MYLES Garrett on his way to LA to be a part of the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Verse, a first-round pick next year, second rounder the year after, and a third rounder the year after that. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you, with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Well, it was the worst kept secret in football that A.J. Brown was going to be a New England Patriot next year, and it has happened. Now, they waited until today to make this official because the Eagles can now split A.J. Brown's $40 million salary into a cap charge between 26 and 27, so saving them some money against the cap. And the Patriots get a number 1 receiver. So the Patriots add A.J. Brown to a busy offseason where they also got former Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs over to that team. And it's looking pretty good. Drake May has some weapons now, where that might have been the one part of the Patriots last year where they didn't really have it was wide receiver. What they had Kayshon Boutte, and that was about it. And so now
Diggs.
you say it again?
And Diggs.
Oh, and Diggs, but he was a bit of a disappointment. So now you look to this year and they have A.J. Brown to go along with Romeo Doubs to go along with Kayshon Boutte. Like, oh, that's a pretty good wide receiving core. And now all the pressure shifts over to Drake May. Can you make it work when you actually have top of the line wide receivers? And you look at the other side, the Eagles obviously knew this was coming. They moved up to pick the kid out of USC, Mekhi Lemon, who a lot of people thought was one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the draft this year. They also got Wicks from the Packers, Dontavian Wicks.
And they got Devontae Smith already there.
Right. So the Eagles were ready to go. This seems like a pretty fair deal, both sides. The interesting part about is what Sammy just told you in the update. So it's a 2027 fifth round pick and a 2028 first round pick that the Patriots are sending back to the Eagles.
It tells you how bad Jalen Hurts, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni wanted him off this team.
Yep. Because
the fact that they could have done this. Well, they didn't do it before the draft because they wanted to make sure all the cap hits worked out, but they desperately wanted A.J. Brown off this team for an Eagles team that has Super Bowl aspirations. The day of, you see MYLES Garrett get traded to your rival in the NFC, and they're the odds-on favorite, but you're trying to compete there. You trade your star wide receiver still for a 2028 first round pick. Now, I think it's a good deal for both sides. As you mentioned, the Patriots,
if it would have been a 2027 pick, it probably would have been a second rounder.
Right. And they're probably just give us the value. And maybe the Eagles are banking on a little bit of the fact of maybe this A.J. Brown thing doesn't work out long term. Maybe the Patriots were just kind of a one-hit wonder, and maybe 2 years from now they're back to being bottom of the barrel, which they've been the last couple of years between Brady and May. This is a big deal. And if you're New England, I think it's okay because Mike Vrabel's there. Now, not that Mike Vrabel is the best judge of character, but in regards to
on the field, he's fine.
That's what I'm getting to. On the field, he's fine. But like off the jump, I would not want to pair a diva star wide receiver and A.J. Brown, who, I mean, Jalen Hurts won him a Super Bowl. Like, Jalen Hurts has been in 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, played really well in both of those games, even though when he lost. And A.J. Brown was going on Twitch streams, constant complaining, reading the book on the sideline, if we remember that. I mean, constantly being a pain in the you-know-what. And then now you're going to a young quarterback in Drake May, who's trying to prove that he made a Super Bowl, but that he can be a franchise quarterback in the AFC because everyone realizes how fortunate that path was in the AFC. But I do think with Mike Vrabel having coached him before, he'll be able to quiet so that A.J. Brown's not just chirping Drake May the whole time and causing dissension there. But kind of a risky get for the Patriots. It felt like they saw the AFC get better around them, and were like, we have to go get a receiver now.
I do remember back on the day where A.J. Brown was traded to the Eagles. It was a draft day, and Mike Vrabel wasn't happy about it. He was the Titans head coach at the time. He loved A.J. Brown and has continued to stay in touch with him, it sounds like, over the years. And this is a good ad for Mike Vrabel specifically. Like you feel like he is the type of coach, along with Dan Campbell, along with Sean McVay to a certain extent, where they get their guys and they're very player friendly when it comes to their guys. And if AJ Brown is one of his guys and can make a big difference for the Patriots this year, that's huge. Like we talk so much about the AJ Brown mental side of the game, which he is a little bit of a disaster and a little bit of a train wreck. That wasn't a thing in Tennessee. In fact, he was really good with Ryan Tannehill, with Marcus Mariota. And that's where he got the name of being one of the game's best wide receivers. He goes over to Philly, and for a while it was great. And then a little bit after that, it fell apart. So is Mike Vrabel the key to A.J. Brown and unlocking that top-end wide receiver talent?
Right, and what does it say about Nick Sirianni?
Well, Nick Sirianni's a little bit of a joke. And I think he has been for a few years.
Jalen Hurts is a respectable quarterback. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl. There's a lot of guys that we put above Jalen Hurts who do not have Jalen Hurts' credentials.
But Jalen Hurts isn't necessarily going to get wide receivers the stats.
Right. Jalen Hurts is a play ahead of the chains, perfect with a great running game, can make big throws when he needs to, but right, he's not going to drop back 40, 50 times a game like a Mahomes has been,
and
like a Burrow.
If there's a 4th and 7, I'd be putting money on Jalen Hurts tucking the ball and running it more than I would him unlocking a 15-yard pass down the field.
Right. And if you had one play on 4th and 7, think of all the QBs you would take above Jalen Hurts: Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. I mean, there is, you could make an argument, Herbert. You could make a lot of guys argue that on a 4th and 7 play that you would be taking different QBs. But
who actually has the best completion percentage in the league on 3rd and 4th downs?
Oh my!
Over
just say
his entire career.
Just say. I know you can't not say it.
It'd be Brock Purdy. Actually, has the best completion percentage on 3rd and 4th downs.
See, another guy. You know, I feel like it's unfair because Jalen Hurts gets characterized as a product of the system when he's not. Now, in Brock Purdy's case, I don't know. But
give the man a little, just one iota of respect. But yeah, I do see what you're saying. And AJ Brown, that was never going to be his path forward. Is Drake May that much better? I don't know. I'd probably put Jalen Hurts above him on that same list, if I'm being honest.
But who?
I'd put Jalen Hurts above Drake May on that same list you're talking about right 100%. Now. So is it going to be that much better, or are you just in love with the head coach?
Well, and with New England, I think this works out for both sides, because if you're Philly, you have a brand new offensive coordinator. So people were kind of curious about that hire, hadn't been an OC before. Hurts, now you take the drama out with AJ Brown. You still have Devontae Smith. Mekhi Lemon's going to be a star. I watched him his whole career at USC. He is going to be fantastic, taking on the Devontae Smith role. You still have Saquon. You have a great offensive line. Hurts. I mean, like that offense isn't going anywhere. And I mean, it's surprising with Philly the last couple of years how like they've been in the Super Bowl conversation, won a Super Bowl, and how much drama has happened since then because of them. So you get that out of town. If you're New England, I wonder where you're at now, because like that division, the Bills got DJ Moore. You just add AJ Brown. I would take the Bills in that division. I know I've talked a lot of smack on the Bills, but I would take the Bills. New England right now was a product that they played the easiest schedule in 26 years, and they had a super easy playoff run considering the injuries of the teams they faced. But it's the Drake May show. So like how much, like now there's expectations on Drake May. Like you can't, if Drake May missed the playoffs this year or goes to the playoffs and is one and done, I think people are going to forget the Super Bowl run.
I think so too. And how about the pressure on the other side, by the way, on Jalen Hurts now? Our texter from the 619, I believe this is Brian, says for the Eagles, the pressure now shifts back to Jalen Hurts. If he does not produce this year without AJ Brown, who he wanted off the team, it could be the beginning of the end for Hurts in Philly, a city with very little patience. So that's a great point. If Philly's offense gets off to a rocky start, if it's clear they're missing their big-bodied wide receiver, look, that's problematic. And by the way, teams figured something out with the tush push last year. It wasn't nearly as effective.
No.
They didn't even go to it really in the final games of the season or the postseason. So is that just a thing that's kind of gone from their offense, or at least not nearly as prevalent? If that's possible, what is Jalen Hurts? And I think we find out a lot.
If I was a Philly fan, though, which I'm not, but if I was a Philly fan, I would actually be happy that the franchise finally put faith in our quarterback, who's done a lot for us. And
now it's time for the quarterback to show up.
Yes, but isn't it funny how I agree with you? But isn't it funny how we put that expectation on Jalen Hurts because he plays in Philly? It's a tough place to play. Like Brian said, you're not going to just be having 500 seasons and get to kind of waste away there. They expect greatness of their teams. Again, this guy's been in 2 Super Bowls and won 1. So,
but he also lost to a team last year that proceeded to get blown out by 40 points.
Yes, but you would think that Hurts has bought himself some grace. I mean, with winning that Super Bowl, not just from that Eagles fans don't expect a lot. That's not what I'm saying. But in terms of Are you going to listen to AJ Brown, who's a headache, reading books on the sideline, going on Twitch streams, talking crap about your quarterback, your head coach, all the stuff? You're going to roll with him, or are you going to roll with the quarterback who's taking you to Super Bowls, 1-1, is a franchise quarterback, no matter what you think about Jalen Hurts, like allowing him, he wants him off the team. To Brian's point, there's pressure on him, but I'd roll with the quarterback who you put all the money behind versus a diva wide receiver when you have Smith and Mekhi Lemon sitting right behind him.
Nothing is simple in sports. I do think the Jalen Hurts situation is kind of simple. We've seen him ball out in Super Bowls. We saw him go toe-to-toe with Mahomes. We saw him go have incredible games in Super Bowls so far in his career. That being said, he had the best offensive line in football when that happened. They had incredible defenses when that happened. And they had a play where until last year, literally no one could stop. So I think that Philly fans, maybe they look at the quarterback position, and NFL media, by the way, and national fans of the football league, everybody looks at the position of quarterback and says, oh, Jalen Hurts does this a little bit differently. And yes, it's provided excellent results for Philly. This has been a great run of Philly football with Jalen as their quarterback, especially considering he kind of saved them from the Carson Wentz disaster. So it's been great, but they don't necessarily see it as being the long-term fix. And when it's all on Jalen, which it will be this year, is he going to be great?
Yes. And it goes back to eye test, because this is why
that's why Herbert gets so much slack, I think, because
right.
the eyeball test, he passes every time.
Right. Like people will make an argument. We could sit here and throw out to the text line. I believe it would be split. If you were starting a team, would you rather take Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts? Texas 70470.
Oh, you could make that argument all day long.
And Justin Herbert's 0-3 in the postseason. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. If you said start a team with Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, everyone would say Josh Allen, rightfully so. Joe Burrow, been to a Super Bowl, hasn't won. So I get where it's like Jalen Hurts doesn't always pass the eye test. I'll give your boy Purdy some credit. Purdy has had a lot of success over the years in the postseason. Does he always pass the eye test? No, not really. That's why people.
He does to me.
Yeah, I mean, anyone wearing that jersey is going to pass the eye test to you. But
Jimmy G never did.
Jimmy G passed a lot of eye tests. I promise you that.
Not the right one. He didn't pass the football eye test. He passed all the other ones.
So it's an interesting conversation with quarterbacks because you're obviously not playing defense. All your points are valid. The tush push, their best offensive line, best running back season we've seen in a decade with Saquon Barkley. I also would make the point though, when they whooped up on my Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they didn't win because they ran the tush push. Saquon Barkley had 60 yards in that game. That's the underrated part of that game. The Chiefs actually took Saquon Barkley out of the game. It was Jalen Hurts diced up the Chiefs secondary and had a big time performance.
Yeah, it was Saquon got them to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts closed the door, and deservingly so. Jalen Hurts was terrific in that game, but also it's not like the Chiefs were putting up much of a fight in that game either.
It's fair, but in the game that the Chiefs won, he balled out in that game.
He was awesome.
Now he did have the fumble, but it's just Jalen Hurts, to Brian's point on the text line, Jalen Hurts has a ton of pressure now because he got his wish, his receivers off the team. Drake May has a ton of pressure. Are you going to send in that echelon of the Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar in the AFC? Or were you the beneficiary of the fact that 3 of those 4 dudes weren't there and you didn't play Josh Allen in the postseason?
Man, we need football back. It's
I know,
coming.
dude.
It's coming soon. OTAs are going. Mini camps open up in like a week. We are almost there, folks. All right. I haven't helped but notice that the sounder has not played yet. I'm assuming the sounder is going to play within the next 5 minutes. So if you are listening right now, you're going to have an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to go see Columbia and Jordan this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. You just have to listen for the sounder. Once you hear it, you're going to be caller number 7 at 877-767-4760. Oh my God.
Call now for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Columbia take on Jordan this Sunday at Snapdragon Stadium. Caller 7 wins at 877-767-4760.
Are we sure that was it? Are we positive?
Could the sounder be any louder?
All right, that was it. So call right now, 877-767-4760. Caller number 7, you're going to the game. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch telling you about my home away from home here in San Diego. It's the Valley View Casino and Hotel, and you got to get out there for Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall happening on Friday, June 12th. You could be one of 10 guests who are going to spin to win a $25,000 prize. That's right, 10 guests could walk away with 25 grand each. Plus, more play is going to be awarded throughout the night. That is free slot play, by the way. You can earn entries all month long through slot or table game play and activate your entry multiplier at the guest service kiosk located throughout the casino. And then you got to be there on June 12th from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock for your chance to win. All Players Club members are eligible to win. If you're not a Players Club member yet, signing up is quick, easy, and free. Just get on out to the Valley View Casino and Hotel. Go talk to their friendly guest services table, sign up for that Players Club card, and you're going to get over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino. Free offers like discounted food, $20 off the Black and Blue Steakhouse, collectible t-shirts, 2 free Maine Lobster buffets when you upgrade that card from red card to blue card status. And the more you use that card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you're going to earn. Don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel on June 12th for Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall. And join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. Shout out to Carl, who just won those soccer
Carl.
tickets for this weekend, the international friendly between Colombia and Jordan out at Snapdragon Stadium. We'll have more of those tickets tomorrow. Schaefer and Sliwa will have more also. What, Colombia?
Colombia.
Ay, mami.
The cumbia.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun out at Snapdragon Stadium this Sunday. My wife and I might actually be going to that as well.
Really?
Yeah, she wants to get a look at all the Colombian mommies.
She wants to get a look at all the Colombian mommies. Damn, you really got to keep her, man.
Yeah, I absolutely do. So we'll have more of those coming up tomorrow. Schaefer and Sliwa will have some as well as a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego Fair, which we will also have coming up tomorrow. Big show today, man. If you missed any of it, it was a good one. We talked all about MYLES Garrett being traded to the Los Angeles Rams, which hurts my stomach still. We talked all about AJ Brown getting traded to the New England Patriots from the Philadelphia Eagles, which I feel like is a move we all saw coming for a while. Schefter literally said it's going to happen on June 1st. He said that 2 months ago.
I am surprised, though. We all knew it was coming. I'm surprised that knowing this trade happened today, there weren't more teams like, oh, wait, we want to try to match the Rams. AJ Brown is a big time player that's available, a star that can change Super Bowl odds, change expectations. There weren't more teams calling like, whoa, they're only offering you a first the year after and a fifth. Like, I'm surprised the Chargers weren't on AJ Brown. I'm surprised a lot of teams weren't making some calls, but ended up in New England.
There may have been, and maybe just no one was willing to part with a first. I bet you there were a few teams who were willing to part with a second this year, but not a first ever. First round picks need to be highly guarded. Like, I'm sure Mike Vrabel had to do some talking into the Patriots brass to get a first round pick, even in 2028, given up for AJ Brown. I'm sure there was a lot of that. Hey, during that last commercial break, I scrolled through Instagram 2 times, and all of a sudden Buster Olney was on my screen saying that the NL West race is already over.
Oh, I saw that.
Do we buy that? Is it done? Did the Dodgers already win it?
It pains me to say it.
I kind of think so too.
If I'm being 100% honest, here's the thing. I think it's over. I'll stand on it. I said it was over before the season started.
Sure. And I think a lot of us did, but there was a minute there where the Dodgers weren't playing great and the Padres were winning a lot of games while not playing great. And it kind of seemed like it might have been up in the air a little bit. But if you've watched anything of the Dodgers over the last week and a half, the offense feels like it's fully back to form, and they're just beating the snot out of teams.
I think that the Padres shouldn't concern themselves about the division. First off, division winners have not always went on to win the World Series. In fact, sometimes when the Padres went in 2022 and beat the Dodgers, they rode all that momentum from beating the Mets. Dodgers were sitting there kind of waiting for a week, and it came back to bite them. The Padres need to be concerned about the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Nationals, the Cardinals, all these teams right there neck and neck in the wild card. And if, hey, a couple months from now, Padres going a little bit of a heater and it's a conversation again, great. But as of right now, yeah, it's pretty hard to sit here and go with the way the Padres hit the baseball and go, it's not slam shut.
All right, our buddy Rich on YouTube says, tonight we got no Padres, no hockey, no NBA. We're going to have to hate watch the Dodgers and root for runs. I like the strategy,
How about that, Rich?
Or maybe it's a movie night.
Movie night?
I heard there's a movie out right now.
Oh,
something. You're close. It's some YouTuber made it.
Yeah,
Rich was talking about it this morning.
Not backdoors, but it's whatever.
Something like that.
It's a horror movie where they're all trapped in something.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I can see that, dude. That movie.
My buddy saw it. He said it's legitimately terrifying.
Really?
Like, he said it's been a while since I've actually been scared in a movie theater, and he was actually scared. Mandalorian and Grogu's out. I haven't seen that yet.
I watched it.
Is it good? Really? Disappointing.
A quick movie review. First half of the movie, tremendous. Really good. Second half of the movie, could have used a little editing. A little slow.
For Mandalorian, you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm going to see it.
You should watch it. I'm not saying don't watch it. It's not, you'll watch it and be like, okay, cool. But it wasn't like some.
I mean, really, we're all just waiting for tomorrow night. Come on.
Love Island.
Come on. Season 8, baby.
This dude.
Let's go. A bombshell has entered the villa. Oh, I can't wait.
Isn't there like 50 episodes?
Yeah. And it's every night, dude. And it's, oh my God.
That's way too time consuming.
Let's go. All right. It's San Diego Sports 760. Sammy's coming up next. See you tomorrow.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment. Padres have an off day today. They start a series out east against the Phillies tomorrow. First pitch will be at 3:40. Trades today in the NFL. The Browns traded defensive end Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse and 3 picks, a first rounder this year, a second rounder next year, and a third rounder in 2029. And then the Eagles said, "Hold my beer," and they traded AJ Brown to the Patriots for 2 picks, a first rounder and a 5th rounder. So we'll see what's up next. Rev up Father's Day gift giving at summitracing.com. You'll find unique gifts, parts, tools, accessories, and more, or give the perfect gift card. A Summit Racing gift card. Shop summitracing.com, plus enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
Going long with Sammy.
That's going to be hot.
In depth on the story of the day. Plus, it's warm in the hot seat. Now, it's Sammy Long.
Hold my beer, Brent. I like that in the update. Man, the NFL never disappoints. The NFL is like, you know what? We got the NBA Finals coming up. Baseball's mid-swing. We're just going to see all the headlines. We're going to have Myles Garrett traded to the LA Rams and AJ Brown going to the New England Patriots. I mean, some massive trades we're going to dive into here in a second. We'll be getting into the Padres here in about 15 to 20 minutes. Touch on them on their off day. Pretty lackluster weekend from the boys out there in Washington. Chino Iglesias hopping on at 2:30 from Channel 933. We'll be getting into everything NFL, all these trades. Plus, we'll take a look at the NBA Finals, which will be starting on Wednesday. Right. I mean, we got so much to get to. NBA Finals, we got a lot going on. And then John Schaefer's on vacation, so we'll do a little crossover with Alan Slewa. But news of the day, we'll start with the Myles Garrett deal. So Myles Garrett on his way to LA for Jared Verse, a first rounder in 2027, a second rounder in 2028, and a third rounder in 2029. Off the jump, we're going to play some sound from Adam Schefter here in a second about what kind of went into that deal. But I mean, just extremely shocking. In the Rams, everyone always jokes the Les Snead model, the F them picks, and it's 100% right. The Rams' first round pick since 2016, Jared Goff, 2016, and then eventually traded for Matthew Stafford. 2017 through 2023 did not make a first round pick. Either didn't have one or didn't make one. 2024 they took Jared Verse, who they ended up trading today for Myles Garrett. 2025 they didn't have a first round pick. I didn't take one, and then they took Ty Simpson this year. So it's an interesting way to look at the NFL draft, where a lot of teams over the years, it's been built through the draft, build through young players, hungry players, contracts that you're not paying a lot of money to, and that's how you've been built Super Bowl winners. We've seen the Chiefs do it. The Chiefs, when they beat the Niners in the first Super Bowl with Mahomes, then they went through a little bit of a dry spell, got beat by the Bucs, beat by the Cincinnati Bengals, and they traded away Tyreek Hill. They got young, added Trent McDuffie on defense. George Karlaftis had a draft that was young and defensive. And the Rams are the complete opposite. The Rams are, we invest in quarterbacks. We'll take a young quarterback, Ty Simpson, as evidence as this year. And it's like, we're going to trade for proven starters. The NFC Championship game, they take on Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba absolutely destroys them in the game and was a premier reason why the Rams did not move on to the Super Bowl to take on New England. What do? They go get Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs, who is a lockdown corner and gives them a true number one. They also signed Jalen Watson from the Chiefs, who's another very good corner to round that out. They attack the secondary. And then we're sitting here having the conversation. I remember when the NFL draft happened and the next day, were they going to regret not taking Ty Simpson? Was that going to, or were they going to regret, taking Ty Simpson and not taking a receiver, a Mekhi London out of USC who they could have had, who ended up with the Eagles? Kenyon Sadiq was there, the tight end out of Oregon, who ended up with the Jets. There was a lot of players they could have grabbed to round out this roster. Since they were already going all in, they're not worried about the future, then go all in. So they got a lot of criticism for taking Ty Simpson. Well, now you know why. Because they're like, we're just going to go trade for Myles Garrett. So we fill a massive hole at pass rush. Jared Verse is a great player who they gave up for the Browns, but certainly not Myles Garrett. Gives you a franchise-defining pass rusher like they have with Aaron Donald. You filled out your back end with McDuffie and Watson. and this team's loaded for bear. And the Rams probably recognize that, hey, we're never going to be picking this high, or hoping that we're not picking this high in the draft to be able to take Ty Simpson. They do say the best time to take a quarterback is when you don't need to take a quarterback, a la Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, a la guys like that. When Lamar Jackson came and sat on the bench and then got elevated. You look at the Jets, look at the Browns, look at these teams over the years that have been rushed into taking quarterbacks, and they haven't always hit. The Steelers have done this for years since Big Ben, because they've been forced into taking a quarterback, so they don't necessarily take the guy that they view as the franchise-defining guy, but they just take a quarterback out of necessity. So huge gift for the Rams. They took Ty Simpson. He's going to sit there. We had all the positive quotes last week about Matthew Stafford. I believe he was on Pat McAfee, and he seemed pretty chipper, pretty okay with them taking Ty Simpson. He had the quote last week. He said, I'm not 25 years old anymore. I get why they went and took a quarterback. Well, I'm sure if they didn't go get Trent McDuffie and MYLES Garrett, he might have been singing a different tune, considering they were a 4th and 4 conversion away in Seattle from going to the Super Bowl. But if you're the NFC right now, I mean, you saw Seattle won a Super Bowl. Well, they just lost Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. They lost Tariq Woolen. They lost Clint Kubiak, their offensive coordinator, to the Raiders. Now, I think the Seahawks are still going to be good. I'm not writing their obituary, but they certainly have some questions that they got to figure out. You have the Niners, who are expecting a little bit of a bounce back, with Bosa's going to be back, Mykel Williams going to be back on defense, Fred Warner. They did lose Robert Saleh on the defensive side. He's now the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So you're wondering about that. Can Brock Purdy lead to a Super Bowl? Trust me, I'll argue with Fletch to the day I die about whether Brock Purdy is good enough to win a Super Bowl. We see that very differently. You got the Bears, who are Brent's Bears, certainly an upstart. I think are only going to be getting better with Caleb. That offense is going to be fun. They fixed the offensive and defensive line. Can Ben Johnson break through? And then you got the Eagles. So there's a lot of teams that are all going to be looking up at the Rams. But the Eagles, we'll get to in a few minutes, ship A.J. Brown out of town. But I think the Rams smelled a little blood in the water, in that the AFC, and maybe this is changing with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, but the AFC, the conversation is you have to have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback in the AFC, you're not going to get through. Last year, you had an opportunity because Mahomes wasn't there, Lamar wasn't there, Burrow wasn't there, and then Allen got beat by Bo Nix. But if you don't have a quarterback in the AFC, I don't think anyone's expecting that most of those quarterbacks are going to be missing the playoffs again. Certainly Lamar or Burrow, you figure, is going to win that division. I think the other probably gets it as a wild card, and I do expect Mahomes and the Chiefs to be back. So basically, if you've been in the AFC the last decade and you haven't felt like you've had a Super Bowl winning quarterback, going all in for trades like this with a MYLES Garrett, or trying to get that compliment, or that big time pass rusher, or that number 2 corner in Jalen Watson, or the number 1 corner in McDuffie, hasn't always made sense. Because unless you were the Bills, Ravens, and Bengals trying to chase the Chiefs, you throw the Chargers in there, because I think Herbert is maybe a tier down, but could be on that level of QBs. You didn't go for it. Whereas in the NFC, I think the Rams go, okay, we have Matthew Stafford. The Niners have a great roster. Question at quarterback. Can Brock Purdy do it? You have 2 young guns in Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams who come up, who you figure to be dominating that conference for years to come, but Stafford still and the Rams still have the best roster. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts deserves a lot of props, but is Jalen Hurts going to be that guy now with A.J. Brown out? So I think you smell a little blood in the water, and that they're like, we believe we have the best quarterback in the NFC, plus we believe that we're just going to have the best roster, and we're going to go all in right now and let the cards fall where they may. We have a little Adam Schefter sound talking about what went into this deal, because the Browns for feels like months and years now have animated that he will not be traded. This is what Adam Schefter had to say about the deal that went down this morning.
When the Browns redid MYLES Garrett's deal, there were people that suspected at that time that this paves the way for the Cleveland Browns to trade MYLES Garrett. And I truly believe, I know, that when the Browns redid that deal, the idea was to reconfigure the way and time in which they paid option bonus payments. Now, most fans don't care about when option bonus payments are paid, but the way it was set up in MYLES Garrett's deal was the 15th day of the new league year in mid-March. They pushed it back to a week before the start of the regular season. Once they did that, it created more flexibility to trade them. And so that was a big deal to a lot of teams. In fact, I had a couple of teams call me and say they're going to trade them. They're going to trade them eventually. The Browns are adamant all along. Like I told you an hour ago, we're not trading him. We're not trading him. But the Rams began pursuing Myles Garrett. They kept pursuing Myles Garrett. They didn't stop pursuing Myles Garrett until they were eventually willing to include Jared Verse in the trade. Once Jared Verse got included in the trade, the Browns were interested. Okay, we get a player now for the short term, and we get draft pick compensation, including a first-round draft pick in 27.
Now, I got to give the Browns a little credit. Now, Brent, you had a great point earlier before the show, if you remember what it was, about that. I was talking to Brent. I was like, I got to give the Browns a little bit of credit in that they're building for the future. Like, look what the Jets did this year in the offseason. You get David Bailey, the pass rusher, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon, Omar Cooper Jr., the receiver from Indiana. They're setting the table so that when they have a quarterback next year, they're able to make a move and strike. And now the Browns are doing the same thing. They are stockpiling picks. They have 2 picks in the first round next year and got a young pass rusher, Jared Verse. But Brent, what did you say about the Browns earlier?
I said that'd mean something if they had a organization that was run competently, but it's the Browns, so they'll probably just screw it up anyway.
You don't believe in Andrew Berry that he's going to lead in the promised land, but like in the dirty little secret right now is that yes, Myles Garrett's going to the Rams. That's the headline. Myles Garrett and the Rams Super Bowl favorites. But we've talked so much. Everyone thought last year was going to be the draft with all the quarterbacks. We thought Arch Manning was going to come out last year before the season. We thought Dante Moore would come out. Maybe Jaden Maiava from USC would come out. None of them did. So we had Fernando Mendoza and then Simpson and then a bunch of flyers late rounds. Your Drew Allers, your guys like that are certainly not surefire guys. Next year, you have Moore, Manning, Maiava, Lenore Sellers, Julian Sand from Ohio State, CJ Carr from Notre Dame. You got potential first-round picks left and right in next year's draft. So the Jets have 3 first-round picks next year, and the Browns have 2 first-round picks. So right now, they're the only 2 teams with multiple first-round picks. So kind of what I was saying a few minutes ago about they're able to now target who they want. If the Browns identify and go, Arch Manning, now who knows if they pull the Manning and don't want to go to the Browns, but if they identify we want Dante Moore, we want Arch Manning, we want this quarterback, they have the draft ammo now to go up and do that along with the New York Jets. Whereas the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they're still dealing with Aaron Rodgers, are going to be left picking the back end of the litter because of whoever the Jets and the Browns and maybe Miami, who finishes worse than them, or the Cardinals take. They're going to be back picking the remaining part of the scrap. So it adds a lot into play for next year with the quarterbacks. You tell the Browns and the Jets are tired of playing the AFC and not having a real quarterback. So many repercussions from this trade. On the other side, we're going to get into the AJ Brown deal a little bit, as well as the Padres. Padres, a rough weekend against the Nationals. Buster Olney had a big thing about whether the Padres were out of the NL West race. We're going to get that for you. And then Chino Iglesias coming up at 2:30, Channel 933, talking NFL, NBA, baseball, everything with him. Coming up next, going along, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio present our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music and once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We'll announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you could win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you need to know happens tomorrow at 8 a.m. Another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeartRadio and San Diego Sports 760. Paris on YouTube said, what do you say? Bring back Aaron Donald now. Whew. Oh my. If you're Aaron Donald, you sit there and go, wait, so I don't have to be the best pass rusher on the team anymore. Myles Garrett's going to do that. You got Kobe Turner, Brandon Fisk, you got some talented guys in this front seven, and you just get to come in on pass rushing downs. That's scary for the rest of the league. I mean, unbelievable. Kirsten on the YouTube, Jace Bowen, baby, beat the wild card teams, talking about the Padres. All right, so Padres off day. Ugly weekend for the Padres. Ugly weekend. I got to give Fletch some credit because Fletch, it is Murphy's Law that Tatis would hit his first home run with Bogarts and Machado. It's a surefire W, right? And of course, they decided to give up 9 runs on top of that. But so after the weekend, 2-3 against the Nationals, lose 2-3 against the Nationals. Now you're taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Buster Olney, if we have that sound, Brent. Buster Olney was on SportsCenter, asked about what division races are done or what are still, up in the air. This is what he had to say on the NL West.
The National League West, the Dodgers have a 5.5 game lead. That division is over. It's not a big lead, but we know that the Dodgers have star power in the rotation with Yamamoto. Blake Snell at some point will rejoin them. Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, who knows? Maybe they're the team that makes the deal for Tarek Skubal before the trade deadline.
All right, so Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers would be something else, but the Padres should not be worried about the Dodgers. Like I said before the season that the division was over, and I got some crap for that. But if it becomes a conversation, if it is August and somehow the Padres are within a game, screw that. Until the Padres determine that they're going to beat the Dodgers in a series when they had them at home a couple weeks ago, at home to make an imprint. Until that happens, we don't need to talk about the NL West. Talk about making the playoffs. Talk about the wild card conversation. Because let's go back 2 weeks ago from today. You had the Dodgers coming to San Diego, 3-game set. I believe they were either had a 1-game lead or it was right there neck and neck. So it was a big series because a lot of people were doubting that the Padres, were that good. They're beating up on some subpar competition. Are they really that good? You had a prime opportunity against the Dodgers. You win game 1. Michael King, unbelievable showing. Bullpen does its thing. You score 1 run off the Miguel Andar home run. Games 2 and 3, Dodgers come back in game 2. Game 3 isn't even on the table. Padres don't score. 2 weeks later, we're sitting here talking about the wild card. They're 6.5 games back of the division from the Dodgers. They're sitting there looking up at the Diamondbacks. Don't even worry about the Dodgers. Worry about the Diamondbacks. Worry about the teams. Worry about the Cubs. Worry about the Phillies, the Cardinals, all these teams that are vying for the wild card spot. Currently, the Padres are sitting atop the NL wild card, but they're all within 1-2 games of each other. And that's what made this weekend, at least personally for me, watching that series. You let the Nationals win 2 or 3 games. They were 2 games back of a wild card spot, I believe, heading into the series. And this was kind of a wedged in between all these big series. You got the Braves and the Phillies and all these things. This was the team to show out against because this was the quasi Padres. This was James Wood. This was CJ Abrams. Mackenzie Gore isn't there anymore. If we revisit that Juan Soto deal, and the Padres didn't come through. And of course, we get back to it earlier. It's Murphy's Law that Tatis finally hits the home run. The bats finally come alive to an extent. And yet then the bullpen and the starting rotation fall apart. But I'm not going to come on here and bash the starting rotation in the bullpen. Because, look, did Jeremiah Estrada have a good game yesterday? No. Did Griffin Canning have a good weekend? His last couple starts haven't been that great? No. They just haven't. But at the end of the day, and I hope this isn't the case, but Tatis hits the home run on Saturday. He goes 0-4 on Sunday. Now it's one game of sample size. Hopefully that changes, but you're going to have to string these things together. I think there's a lot of expectation around San Diego and people watching the Padres that, Tatis will hit his first home run, then he'll be right back to where he was. It's well, hopefully, Doesn't really look like it right now. The team is just so disjointed that despite having a good record, despite sitting in the NL wild card, they're a hard watch. And you wonder if it keeps going this way because you got the Phillies, you have the you got the Mets in there who've struggled this year, but been a little bit better recently. If it keeps going this way, the Padres ownership, AJ Preller and company and Craig Stammen will have an interesting decision because the record right now says you should buy at the trade deadline because you're in it. They're 100% in it despite the rough play over the last 2 weeks. They're right there, at least in terms of the wild card picture. But when you watch the team night in, night out, they don't really look like a World Series team. They just don't. Like they cannot hit consistently whatsoever. The starting rotation has held up for the most part. You know, that figures to get better. Musgrove and Pivetta are coming back, but who knows if they actually are going to come back because we feel like we've been getting told this for months now and it hasn't happened. The bullpen's great, but they're going to have an interesting decision of, you know, at what time is it in the best interest to sell off pieces? At what time are we having the conversation 1-6 in the last 7 games of have they done the best they can with this core of the Machados, of the Tatises, of the Bogarts, the Merrills, the guys like that? I'm not saying you trade them right now. That's not what I'm saying. But it's a tough decision that AJ Preller has to make because, again, if you haven't watched this baseball season at all and you tuned in today on June 1st, you're like, oh, Padres sitting decent right now. They're sitting at the top of the NL wild card, squarely in the mix, good record. But we look at it, the run differential is -4, I believe, last time I saw it. And at what point is it time to start looking yourself in the mirror and going, is it about getting some of these prospects back in a trade or keep buying? Because the goal of the last couple of years, certainly the last while for AJ Preller has been buy at the deadline and try to win now. Is that the best thing moving forward for the team? I'm not so sure. We'll see. Jace Bowen can call up to the big league squad for the outfield. So maybe he could add some pop to the Padres bats, but certainly a big series against the Phillies starting tomorrow. Coming up next on the other side, Chino Iglesias, channel 933. We're getting into the all the NFL trades today, a little bit of the NBA finals, and we actually have a movie review that's coming up next. Chino Iglesias, channel 933, going long, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres have an off day today. They're in Philadelphia getting ready to start their series with the Phillies tomorrow afternoon. The first pitch is going to be at 3:40. We had a bunch of big trades in the NFL today. The Browns traded defensive end MYLES GARRETT to the Rams for Jared Verse and 3 picks, a first rounder this year, a second rounder next year, and a third rounder in 2029. And then the Eagles went and agreed to trade wide receiver A.J. Brown to New England for 2 picks, a first and a 5th rounder. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little heat. Getting warm around here.
Light the fires, Big Daddy.
Who's next in the hot seat?
You know. Ain't nothing wrong with a little heat.
I know. Shout out to CJ, big voice guy.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little heat.
We might not have you voice it.
Bro, whatever. I'm here. I'm a team player.
Chino Iglesias.
I'm limited to 15 minutes, but I'm a team player.
Unfortunately, limited to 15 minutes.
It's all good, man.
How you doing, man? We got a lot. Okay,
we got a lot to cover.
First off the jump, you saw Mandalorian last week.
Okay. I saw it the night it came out on that Thursday. My son works at a movie theater. He's like, "Oh, we got the theater to ourselves. Just,
hell yeah.
Just the workers and their families, but it's at like close to midnight. You know what? Let's go." We're the only people there. It's just me and my family. Nobody else showed up.
Dude,
it's just us in a Dolby theater, loud as hell.
That is the best, by the way, when you could, like, you're the only people in a movie theater and you can just yell.
You can, yes.
You just do whatever you want.
There's 5 of us and 3 of them were like falling asleep. And I'm like, you know, I took it all in that first one. And I'm like, I got to see this again. Because I need the crowd participation, the oohs and the ahs, right? So that first time around, I'm like, okay, they made this for kids, right? I get it, because when Star Wars first came out, I didn't watch the first Star Wars in theaters. I watched Empire Strikes Back in theaters.
Okay.
Scared out of my mind. Because of Darth Vader.
Right, yeah. You're like, what's
Darth
going on here?
Was menacing. And so I understand who it's for, but I'm a kid. I never grew up. Second time around, I watched it. There was a couple things that made me feel like I was watching somebody playing Battlefront on PS5.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Like the images were a little cartoony. But the story, the arc, it's exactly what we needed in a slow development of Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, for those that are not in the Star Wars universe, right? Okay. To have that moment of no dialogue, right? It reminded me of Luke and Yoda when he went for his training. It was quiet, right? Like there's art in this film, and I'll watch it again and again and again. It's not my favorite.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so Brent has not seen it yet. Brent is
Dude,
a big Marvel Star Wars head. I had the first half of the movie was great. Second half, I don't want spoilers. It's a little slow.
Yeah, it was slow, but
I was intentional. It was intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a little like, okay, I get it. You know, this is happening. I don't want to spoil it, people.
Like, take care of my guy, but it took forever because it's long, it's drawn out, it's quiet. There were a couple of characters that I felt like, why don't they have an accent when in previous films characters like that had some kind of an accent?
Everyone on the text line YouTube, Jamar says y'all got to watch Obsession.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
913 Backrooms. Have you seen Backrooms?
I heard a lot of people walked out of Backrooms. They weren't.
I heard that is scary as you know what.
Yeah.
We got nicknames. 619 on text line, Silver Spoon Sammy and Chino the Dodger fan. That's our new show.
Silver Spoon Sammy. We need merch.
We need merch. We need merch. We'll sell it.
I say go see it. Just so you know how much of a Star Wars fan I am. I've watched all the films multiple times. I watched all 11 films before the movie dropped.
Okay.
Again, like in a 2-week span, just to get my mind ready for it. So
okay. I like it.
Let's focus on what everybody's talking about.
Yes.
The NFL.
Of course. So it was 2 trades today.
Okay. The other
AJ
one,
Brown?
AJ Brown, I'm like, okay, we saw it coming.
Right.
Good for him.
I am surprised though that today, so it's supposed to happen on June 1st, reported months ago to the Patriots. I am surprised that knowing the Myles Garrett trade happened today, there weren't more teams jumping in going like, wait, we can get a franchise altering player in AJ Brown trying to up this offer, because the Patriots gave a first round pick in 2028, not next year. They gave a 5th round next year and a first round of the year after that. I'm surprised the Chargers weren't calling. I'm surprised a lot of teams were not in on him.
We don't know that they weren't. We just feel like, okay, this was set in stone a long time ago, right? That's what I feel about it. And you're going to get more out of AJ Brown this and next year than a first round wide receiver in 2028, right? You're going to get more right now. So good. He gets somebody that has an arm that can throw him the ball. Whereas Jalen Hurts, it's a gamble, right? And it's not a scheme.
I would argue Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback though than Drake May.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But that offense is designed to kind of air it out a little bit compared to
Jalen Hurts just play out of the chains, running game, Saquon Barkley, in great offensive line, and
100%.
Methodically with that defense. You only got to score a few times.
But my guy, this is where the dominoes are going to start to fall. The NFC West these quarterbacks are going to be in shambles. Number one, this trade is reminiscent, for me at least, this movement, this changing of teams reminds me of Reggie White to the Packers. Somebody as dominant as Myles Garrett. When Reggie White went to the Packers, it was like, no, that was the big first real free agent,
Right, switching teams. It was like, when before that, they weren't switching teams.
When he made that move, everyone was on notice. Now you get Myles Garrett to come over here to the West. 4 days ago, Aaron Donald posted a workout video and it said AD99 #ready. You can't tell me those phone calls weren't already
if he comes back
happening. Listen, he does not have to do anything but just be a menace.
And right, because Donald doesn't have to be the number one player. You got Fisk, you got Kobe Turner. Like, there's some good talent on that D-line that we're not even talking about alongside Myles Garrett.
And we're happy Verse gets to go home. He's an Ohio kid. Go play in front of your family. You showed.
You think he's happy to be leaving LA for Cleveland?
I don't know. I think there's something special about going home.
Yeah.
Right. So for him, he gets to be that guy that becomes that dude. If he's got that dog in him, he can do it anywhere.
I think so where do you see, like in the NFC? It makes sense. Now it makes sense with Ty Simpson, because we had Ty Simpson. We were coming on. I remember being like, wait. So you go all in, you get Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs, you sign Jalen Watson. You go address corner, which is what you needed to address because JSN in the Seahawks passing attack kills you. You take Simpson. It's like, okay, you didn't take Mekhi Lemon. You didn't take Kenny and Sadiq. Like, there were some weapons there available, but now you get it. It's like, we're going to take a Ty Simpson when we're picking at a spot in the first round we're never going to be again unless there's massive injuries. And now you just go solve the defense and figure that Kyron Williams, Stafford, Puka, and Devontae Adams can figure out this offense.
My hopes is that we're going to get all-time bangers between Seattle and the Rams, like we did with the Rams and Chiefs. Was it a Monday night?
Yep. It was supposed to be in Mexico City.
2018, 2019 in the Cali, bro.
54-51.
That game was insane. So my hopes is that that's where this is headed. You got a top 5 offense and you just locked in Myles Garrett.
Yeah, it's
come on.
It's unreal. And
my cousin is hype. He's a huge Rams fan.
Oh, he's going nuts.
He's going nuts about it. He hates that he lost Verse, but I get it. Like, that could have been the future, but why not? You're winning for now. You're trying to win right now.
Right.
You've got the pieces in place.
And I'm sure this is probably what all along. Like, we didn't see a Stafford situation. We didn't see an Aaron Rodgers type situation where they drafted Jordan Love. He's like, screw this dude. Like, what? Like, no, I want to win now. Stafford's sitting there like, yeah, I'm 38. That's fine. Take your quarterback of the future, but go get me a defense. Go get me a defense, which is probably going to be the best defense in the NFL or one of the best defenses in the NFL, and where you can figure this thing out. I mean, we talk about, like, Matthew Stafford is interesting now, because he's a Hall of Famer already, right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl, unbelievable with the Lions. Always got the benefit of the doubt because the Lions could never put together a roster. The Rams win a Super Bowl. Last year, you followed the Seahawks. This is one of the best roster he's ever had, bar none. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl and he's stuck at one ring alongside Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, a lot of guys who had one ring, I think we'll flip on how we look on Matthew Stafford's career as a little bit more of a disappointment if he doesn't win another ring with this roster.
That's like, I mean, what do you compare that to really? Like if you were to compare it to, in NBA terms, you look at guys that were great and didn't get a ring at all, and go, am I disappointed in Charles Barkley's career because he didn't get a ring? Nah, man, he was a menace.
He was a great, but there's also
Karl
reason
Malone.
We don't talk about those guys as top 10 players of all time.
They're top 50, man.
They're top 50.
Yeah,
but there's
50.
a difference between I'm arguing to be one of the best players of all time, and that's where you need hardware.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing. That's you spend a lot of time out there in Detroit. I feel like they've got the pieces together to even maybe lure Stafford to stay another year if it doesn't happen this year. He's still playing at an elite level, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the question. It's like, so okay, let's say they bow out in the NFC title game. Let's say the injury, something happens, someone catches them, because the NFL is fluid. It's, to your point, it's not the best team does not win every year in the playoffs. Then you have a decision on your hand because you have a win now roster, McDuffie and Puka. You haven't extended Puka yet, and Garrett, all these guys.
If Puka doesn't unravel and become a problem.
Right. So you're kind of living on the edge.
Yeah.
Then are you headed for a situation where
let's not forget they got Devontae Adams still.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that's a stacked roster.
So are you unless they have assurances for Matthew Stafford, like, hey, I'm only playing one more year, which if I'm Matthew Stafford and I'm making $16 million for 1 year, and I have a chance to win a Super Bowl every season, why would I not continue to want to play? You're going to have an interesting point with Les Snead and McVay because McVay's going to want to start Stafford.
Yep.
Snead at one point, ownership's going to go, we want Simpson. Like, it's going to be an interesting point.
I don't know, bro. I'm not convinced.
Like 2 years from now, you don't think they're going to be like, all right, we got to get
2 years from now, maybe. I don't know, man.
Not this year, but I mean the year after.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to look into the crystal ball and figure it out right now. Right?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's exciting. It's June 1st.
Oh, yeah.
And we're this excited about the NFL. I hope it's going to be a great season. I hope that the Rams live up to the hype. The Seahawks continue to do what they do. The Niners suck. Did I just say that out loud?
Yes. Ben Fletcher.
I said that on purpose.
He came in here whining this morning. He's like, I mean, Brock Purdy still is like one of the best completion percentages. I go, no one's worried about Brock Purdy
until he gets hit by a Mack truck and MYLES Garrett. It's gonna be fun to watch for real.
It's gonna be in the NFL. Like, it's so good. Like, you talk about the trades.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so good for the league. Like, as massive NBA fans,
yes,
both of us, the fact that you have to match salaries, all that stuff, like, it's more fun when there's fluidity throughout the leagues, where it's like guys are changing hands versus just staying with the same team their whole career. I think that is like a secret sauce of the NFL.
I'm excited, bro. On another note, I'm not going to be here on Monday. Vacation.
Okay.
I'll be in Hawaii. Unless you want to like just FaceTime me or whatever.
Okay. We can call in.
I'm cool. I don't know how many Mai Tais I'm going to be deep, but
you go enjoy your Mai Tais.
I'm going to tell you right now. Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6, baby. You heard it here first. Chino Iglesias. Channel 933. Go listen to him over there. Thank you, bro. You're the best for joining.
It's my favorite part of the day.
Oh, it's my favorite part of the week. All right. He'll be back. We'll figure it out.
Silver spoon.
We'll figure it out. He's on vacation. We'll figure it out for him back next week. But coming up next, Alan Sliwa joining me for the crossover going long. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. The crossover's back today. John Schaefer out on the East Coast, living it up. Little June vacay. The big sleeves here. The Hoops Talk 2.0. Sleeve one long, getting it going for 15 minutes. He's getting his headphones on. How you doing today, man?
What is going on, brother? I'm good. You know, Schaefer doing get some nice vacation time in. The guy works hard. Let him get his time away for a little bit and go from there. But all is good. What's going on with you?
Doing good, man. We got a lot to talk about today. We had a bunch of NFL trades. We didn't really get to too much of the NBA Finals, which is going to be fun. And then complaining about the Padres a little bit. So it was a full show.
Is the NFL for you? Is this like where does this rank in your? I know you love the league. So where does this rank when all these trades are going down? Is like, what's the equivalent? Is this like one of your funner times of the year? Yes. All this action.
I was just talking with Chino about it. One thing I love about the NFL, I think, is an underrated part of it.
Okay.
Because we can talk about how the scarcity of it and how Major League Baseball, NBA, there's so many games. I love player movement in the NFL. I think it's a really underrated part about the sport and keeps it spicy because not only can you build things through the draft, but you can Myles Garrett's a Ram. AJ Brown is now playing for the New England Patriots.
Right.
I mean, I thought the Patriots were going to miss the playoffs. Now all of a sudden they have AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs and a nice little receiving core. I like that in the NFL things can flip on a dime like that if you have a good GM.
Okay.
And I think that it's not that can't be for. We talk about with the NBA, you have to match salaries, and Major League Baseball is all about a farm system. So I like that about the NFL that you can really remake a team in a year.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, you can change it around quickly. Here's the only thing I'd say. How come this doesn't get as much play? Like the NBA, it's a freaking circus around the trade deadline.
Oh, yeah.
It's a circus around free agency. We all know NFL rankings. I mean, NFL plays a preseason game on late August. It will do better ratings than some of the NBA playoff games. Like we know who's king. How come they can't get more people off season? Is it just me or does it feel like the NBA pub is crazy for Marcus Smart to come to the Lakers? Like what? Why are that many people caring about that?
You mean in terms of people not caring at the trade deadline, or what do you mean?
What I'm talking about is the NBA gets so much more attention than the NFL when it comes to their free agency.
Yes.
And when it comes to the trade deadline. Why does it feel like the NFL is, if there's one thing that they're behind, I feel like when the NFL season ends, pretty quiet for the NFL.
Well, the NFL free agency is big. I will see you on the trade deadline because now the NFL trade deadline is big, but in the NBA trade deadline,
bro, it gets mass pub. It gets way too much publicity.
And because
I'm like, why is everyone caring that much about Cam Johnson?
Buyout market, baby.
Buyout market. That's
because
right.
I think in the NBA at the trade deadline, you can see a team go from, okay, they're a decent team in the Western Eastern Conference to they make a move at the trade deadline and like you are a legit contender. It's rare that one move in the NFL makes you a Super Bowl contender. It can be.
Sure, it takes a lot. You're right about that.
I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, you have the best roster out there, best defense in the league.
Yeah.
Are you going to go on the road and be winning tough playoff games? I don't know. So I think that's what the NBA does. Whereas again, Major League Baseball and the NFL, it's more about a collection of talent and there's a core group. The NFL is more wide open than Major League Baseball, but before the year that you think can actually win. In NBA, I think at the trade deadline, you can launch into a tier no one expected you to be in.
You know, it's funny. Because I think you said you even started the conversation. I think you were talking about like, okay, here's how you could change things in the NFL. And NFL, you're right. Basically, you can reset every year. You're probably getting 6 new teams going into the postseason, something along those lines. NBA, not as frequent, right? You kind of have a lot of the same squads. Not that you can't change things or change your fortunes, but for the most part, you kind of know.
But the top 4 seeds are probably you know who they're going to be.
Yeah, you kind of have an idea.
You don't know what you're all getting into today, but
no, you're good. Go ahead.
I mean, Saturday night, NBA, unbelievable with like the Spurs.
Oh man,
I'm just excited for this aspect because I feel like I was with a bunch of people.
First off, can I just preface by saying the Padres suck right now? Let me just say that because what I thought was going to be just a very nice weekend. You're playing the Nationals.
Beat up on the Nationals.
You can kick back and relax and enjoy a game 5. I had to go take like 3 walks on my own. I'm like, I just need to think about life. Go ahead on the NBA.
By the way, it is Murphy's Law that Tatis hits a home run finally, and then the starting pitching staff just decides to sell a game. I mean, it's a whole bag of issues with the Padres.
Oh, don't.
But
by the way, listen, if you want to hear some bitching and complaining, stay here till 6.
That's exactly why I was saving the Padres story. I knew you were going to get into it.
Yeah.
But in regards, like, I think it's fun in the NBA how, again, we anoint dynasties. We did it with the Lakers in 2020. We thought they were going to go on a run. The Bucks, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Celtics, now OKC. Now everyone's on whoever's going to win this. Like, it is funny for the NBA. We talk about a lot of continuity from year to year.
Yeah.
Baseball, we've seen Dodgers go back to back. Football, we've seen the Chiefs go back to back, and the Eagles win 2 in the span of a few years. But basketball has been fun in that it has been a different champion every year for a while now since the Warriors.
You're a big baseball fan, right?
Of course.
Okay. So right now, this is a big conversation about where baseball's sitting today. I think there's really one outlier. It's one squad that is going to force labor negotiations and is going to force some real pressure on, like, hey, I don't know if the system can do the way the system is.
Talking about the Dodgers?
Talking about the Dodgers.
I think there's a lot of teams in Major League Baseball that actually do that.
Do you want to see something similar to where you have in the NBA? You're going to have 8 different champions in 8 different years, and you can't really predict, even though we keep thinking we're going to predict, because now I'm going to sit here and tell you, oh, San Antonio might be the team, even though I think this is a series.
I think it's a really good series.
I don't think this is a given. Do you want, and the NFL is kind of similar, do you want to see something like that in baseball as well, where you feel like going into a season, hey, there's a solid 10, 12 teams that have a shot to win it?
Well, I think also, I know we're about to get out of here, but I think in Major League Baseball, people talk about the Dodgers and the spending habits, things like that. Another conversation is the fact that baseball is the only sport where the second opening day, the first pitch goes, you can cross off about 14 teams who aren't even trying to win because they haven't spent like it. I mean, not even on the same playing field. Having like the Pirates, having an unbelievable pitching staff, and yet will not pay for sluggers. I mean, this is the only sport where there is a half the league. You're like, yeah, they're not.
Here's the problem with that angle. Are we avoiding the conversation of the question that I asked? Like, I think if you're trying to say, hey, I think teams on the bottom need to spend more. Is that kind of the conversation you're saying?
I think there should be a salary cap, but I think just as big of a problem as the Dodgers spending money is the fact that half of baseball is not spending money.
I don't disagree with that. I think, and John has kind of convinced me of that more and more. And by the way, the Dodgers spending money doesn't guarantee you anything, but what it does guarantee for a franchise that's really, really well ran, that they got so many outs, right?
They can sign the best closer in the market when Tanner Scott sucks the year before.
And if this closer doesn't work, they could do this, they can do that. It makes for a different conversation. I might have to just bring you back in for a longer conversation.
Hey, if you want to, I'm here.
I'm
roaming around the building. Coming up next, Alan Sliwa. Keep on listening. I'll be back tomorrow at 12.